Okay, so let's see if it is working.
Yes.
It's working?
You're live.
Can everyone in the chat let me know if I exist in your realm? Let's see. Oh, they can't hear me. Oh, wait. Okay.
I
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. There we go. So hello, welcome everyone. It's nice to see everyone in the chat. I can't see how many people are here because I don't understand how this interface works. But thank you all for coming. And we got to 400,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Shocked I am. I'm not sure how we got this far. So thank you so much. Also here is my co-host, Snurly Snorlaxon, and the studio audience that we have in the background as well. They're not here to absorb sound. And then of course we have my wife behind the curtain who will be doing all the technical stuff and asking questions.
Hello.
So, someone's saying audio is still mono.
Yeah, it is coming out of one side only for some reason.
It's coming out one ear? Okay. Well, that is...
I have no idea why. If anybody knows why.
How do I fix that? Let's see. So. Okay, I'm going to fix this just now. Let's see why it's not working. Audio capture. No, not that one. Why is it mono? Okay, I'm going to push a bunch of buttons on the microphone box and just see what happens and see if that fixes it. This is why the audio on our video sounds terrible, because I don't know how it works. So let's just push some buttons. So that didn't fix it. Let's see. No, that button shouldn't do it. Let me see. Why would it be mono? Why would it be mono? Well, look, doesn't matter. Is it okay?
It's fine. I can still hear you.
That's fine then. We'll just deal with it being mono, I guess, because I don't know how to fix that.
If anybody knows how to fix it, just put it in the chat. And if no, we'll keep
Yeah,
it like this.
if there's any audio engineers in the chat who want to explain to me why the microphone is... Maybe if I just like move it around. Move up the volume slightly. Twist this cable.
Somebody was like, plug it in and plug it out.
That's always actually a good idea. I'm going to plug it in and I'm going to plug it out again. Did that work? Did that fix the problem?
No, but it's fine. Let's just move on.
It's fine. We'll just one ear today in this live stream, and that should be fine. Someone all I can see in the chat is someone saying you aren't a furry, and yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna see if I can fix the chat appearing on the screen.
The giant Snorlax is actually a beanbag.
Yeah, it's pretty well stuffed. It's very comfy. I'm gonna bring the volume down slightly. But look, we'll get started now anyway. Someone says blow into the cartridge. I'm not sure that's gonna help. So, thank you all for coming. It's the 400k celebration. We got off to a weird start, but that's just how communication happens now on the internet. There's always a 5-minute thing at the beginning where you're like, can you hear me? Can you not? So let's all get a good celebratory vibe going, you know? This is to celebrate all of you helping the channel get to 400,000 subscribers, which is insane. And I think we should just have a nice time. We can answer some questions. We can play some games. We can do a bunch of random stuff. But first, normally on all of these live streams I have a beer, but I'm not drinking beer at the minute because I am being skinny. I actually had a beer yesterday, but that beer does not count. So we're going to have an espresso martini, which is like, ooh, fancy. I don't own any martini glasses, so it's gonna be an espresso Belgian beer. Let's see what happens. Okay. This could go really, really well or really, really terribly. So let's cross our fingers and hope I don't cover Snorlax in alcohol. First, we have our espresso. If you have espresso at home, use your own espresso. We have ice. We have 2 shots of vodka. And we have this incredibly extra bottle of Kahlua. Let's see how this goes. I don't remember the recipe, but I'm gonna.
I think you just.
It's
do you
one.
want me to Google the recipe?
No. Let's see how this goes. You can't see my majesticness.
You can't see the stuff that's on the table, but
Okay.
if you lift it a little bit, you can see
Okay.
it.
So, vodka.
2 shots of
2
vodka.
shots of vodka. Oh, I didn't spill it. Okay. This is so. The beer is so much less maintenance. But I feel like this makes me look like a much more refined person. Is it 1 shot or 2? I'm just gonna go with a lot of Kahlua. I like Kahlua, it's tasty.
Yeah, it's nice.
Wow. Okay. And now espresso. Now I have to shake it, and I'm very concerned for how this is gonna go. Okay. I'm gonna lower the volume on this mono stream so I don't deafen you with my ice shaking. Let's see how this goes.
Close it a bit better. I think.
Close it a bit better.
Okay.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Okay. Now, I have to strain this through this thing, but this is a very weird cocktail shaker and it's impossible to open. So,
You have to put the audio back up a bit.
oh. So it's stuck and I can't open it. So I'm just gonna do like I'm just gonna go for it. Whoa. Look at that. That's nice. It's very. It kind of looks like a Guinness. So good vibes. Okay. So if anyone else at home wants to do that, you can do that, and we can all join together. And we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna give that like 2 seconds to settle, and also to get a vibe going, we also have some lighting effects. Lighting effects. Great. So, also, just because we live in a very historical moment, all of the super chats from this live stream, we are going to donate to the what's in the international
World Central Kitchen.
the World Central Kitchen. So we're going to donate all of the super chats from this live stream to the World Central Kitchen, who at the minute are at the border of the Ukraine, and they're giving free food to all of the refugees who are coming over the border. Because, yeah, when you're a refugee and you flee your home, food is difficult to come by, and we want to help with that if possible. Luckily, we're in the position where we can help, and I would like this live stream to have like a positive effect on the world, other than just people watching me make a weird espresso martini. So,
I'll put a link of it in the chat.
there will be a link in the chat. People are still commenting on how it's mono. I wish I could fix that. Oh, wait, does this change it? Does this change the monotonous? Also, yeah, the chat on screen isn't working. I'm trying to fix that at the same time. I'm going to take it away for now. Change the link in it and see if it decides to work again. No, still not working. What time is it for everyone, actually? What time is it for everyone watching? I'm curious to see where the audience is located. I know we have essentially half of the audience is, not half, 40% of the audience is Indian, the other 40% is American. So now I'm curious to see who is here, because in America it's early and in India it's almost midnight.
Okay, there's some times there in the chat.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, from all over the place.
Oh, we have a fan from Argentina, Arturo.
Somebody asked, why are you Irish?
When I was born, I made an odd decision to be Irish. It was the first box in the form, and I just ticked it. I'm not sure why. It's been okay since so far. Oh, we also got a super chat from Elizabeth Calvert, who says, love your videos as my tiny human can watch them and thinks they're great. He loves the lights. I love the Snorlax as it's my spirit animal. Thank you for being awesome. East Coast US 1214. Well, thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate that. And I'm glad that you can watch this video with your tiny human. Okay, so this is probably ready to drink now.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. It's actually pretty tasty. So we have some questions to answer from the audience. I have them in a file here. If you actually have any questions, just post them in the live chat. I will answer as many as I can. And just as a tip, if the question is like, when will you do this topic or will you cover this topic? The answer is yes. I'm going to cover all the topics. I want to cover all the topics. The thing limiting us isn't that we don't know any topics. It's just making videos takes a lot of work, and so we're limited on time. But if whatever topic you want us to make a video on, we probably will. We'll get to it. There's a comment here that says, I think your voice and manner of speaking is one of the best parts of the channel. I personally think I talk really badly, and it's very ununderstandable and unintelligible and very mumbly, but I'm glad other people seem to enjoy it. And we have a comment from Sarah Ellie Penny, who says, why did you start YouTube? I actually started this channel because I was really bored. I was in Uruguay we were there for 6 months. I was working as an English teacher, and then I stopped working as an English teacher, and so for most of the day there wasn't much to do. We were going to the beach, enjoying the sun. Actually, no, it was winter when we were there, no?
Yeah.
It was winter in Uruguay, and Uruguay is a very summery country, so we couldn't go to the beach. So I started a YouTube channel because I had all this free time, and I just wanted some sort of creative outlet because I was in a different place. And it evolved eventually into this, which is I think a pretty good turnout. I have to keep remembering to look at the camera. Someone's saying YouTube doesn't allow alcohol in the stream. This isn't alcohol. This is alcohol's cousin. Someone says, where in Ireland? Mark McGoran says, where in Ireland are you from? I'm from Dublin, specifically the Ballyfermot area of Dublin. And someone says, are you back in Ireland? No, I don't live in Ireland at the minute. I actually live in the Netherlands. Because it's easy. It was just easier for me to get a house here than it was for me to get a house. I don't have a house. I have an apartment, and a lord of the apartment. But it was easier to get a lord to give me an apartment here than it was to get one in Ireland. So that's why I live here.
We have some previous questions.
We have some preview questions from the people left on the YouTube post. So the first question is, how many people work to make a Cogito video? So this year is actually, we've expanded the team, which has made things much easier. Before, it was, for most of the channel's history, it was just me. I was doing the researching, the writing, the drawing, the animation, the sound, the narration, all this. It was a lot of work, and that's why videos came out really, really slowly. And also why the animations couldn't get better because I didn't have any time to practice or learn new things. I was just kind of in like struggling to get the videos out. But then my wife joined the team in 2020, and she does research, writing, edits the audio, a bunch of stuff like that, which just helps. Takes a huge load off of me. It cuts the workload essentially in half. And now, recently, we've brought in a writer. Her name is Deborah. You can see she's linked in the description of the beer video because she did all the research and the writing for that, which is super helpful because one, amazing researcher. That was like one of the main struggles and why I didn't reach out and get writers and everyone earlier, because it's difficult to find people you trust to do that kind of job. Like if the research is bad, the whole channel falls apart. The reason people trust these videos is because they trust that we get all the details correct. And so finding a writer it took a really long time. We did interviews and all that kind of fancy business stuff to find like the correct writer. And luckily we got really lucky and we got Deborah, and she does a great job. So right now there's 3 of us. Me, you, Deborah, the writer, and we're also bringing in an illustrator because I can't draw very well, and the videos are all drawn. So it will be good to get someone in who can draw really well and conceptualize stuff, and also take that away, or at least half of the illustration workload away from me, and that way we can focus on making more videos, covering more topics, and evolving the channel. So right now we have 3. We're hoping to get 4. Let's see how that goes. Someone said, what's my favorite color? My favorite color is green. The best of all the colors. Because it is the color of my soul. Someone says, hi, Cogito. So, Hospitaler says, hi, Cogito. I've been waiting and hoping for you to make it, but are you ever going to make a video explaining Christianity? Yes, I'm currently doing the research for that video. The reason I left the Christianity video to the end is because like I was raised in a Christian country. So I have, unlike all the other religion videos, actual experience with the religion. And for me, the reason I thought the religion videos did so well was because I was kind of like separated from the topic, and I could read kind of like, not objectively, because no one reads objectively, but I could approach these things and explain them to people who, like me, before I did the research, didn't know anything about these religions. I was able to look at Buddhism as a person who knew nothing about Buddhism, read all the texts, listen to all the interviews with Buddhist monks and everything, put all of it, summarize it, and then explain it to past me. The Christianity video is different because I know about Christianity because I'm Irish. Irish people know the most about Christianity. So that one is taking a while. But it should be out this year, or even in the next few months. I think it's like within the next 2 or 3 videos. We'll see how that one goes. Okay, I'm going to look at another previous question that was asked yesterday.
There was a question that was like, when did you start liking history?
That's a good question. Do we know who the question was from?
No.
They are
I
lost.
did not write it down. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, from Anonymous. When did I start liking history? I started liking history when I was like 4. Because around that time, on my family computer, the game Age of Empires was put on a disc into it. And that game, just like everything about it, it has a bunch of different civilizations. You can make them fight each other. There's little people you can move around on a map, and you can build buildings, and you could do campaigns. I was Attila the Hun, and I got to pillage Rome, and it was amazing. And that just started like a love of history. And then that same company made a game called Age of Mythology, which was the same thing, but with like centaurs and Zeus and everything. And that started a love of mythology, and those two loves just like became like a part of my identity. So ever since I was like a small, loved history. It's amazing.
Okay, another question. What would you say your favorite video on your channel is?
Favorite video on the channel? At the minute, I really like the Shinto one. I really like, before, my favorite video was the San video, because when I was researching, I got super into it. At one point, the San video had like 100,000 words in its like note in the Google Doc. It was like, and in order to write the script, I would read the 100,000 words, kind of cut away at them, reorganize them. Oh, now I have 95,000 words, and that just went on for weeks until eventually we got like a 2,000 word script. Actually, no, that video is 4,000 words. Yeah, that used to be my favorite video because I just loved the topic. But now the Shinto one, I just really like how that video flows. I like the little character who's a sushi who controls the universe. I just love it. Really like the Shinto one. Beer one as well. I do like the beer one. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I love all of the videos, but I do. Every single one of them is, for me, I just love making it. I feel like they have their own little parts that I really enjoy. But at the minute, yeah, the Shinto one is probably like my favorite one right now.
Okay, another question. I don't know how to pronounce it. Turnips or parsnips?
Neither. Turnips and parsnips are both illegitimate vegetables. They have no right to exist or be on any plate anywhere. They are bad carrot and bad potato. There's no need. Delete them. Delete turnip, delete parsnip, replace with a better vegetable, with a valid vegetable. Okay. Someone says, what do you mean by Cogapaluza extravaganza? Look at this extravaganza. This is extravaganza. This is the Cogapaluza. And also I just wanted like a funny title. Let me see.
What's your favorite potato variety? And what about potato dish?
As you said that, Ethan Cash just put a bunch of potato
a
emoji.
bunch of potatoes. It was a coincidence.
So what is my favorite potato variety? Whatever the one they sell in the supermarket, like the normal plain one. Here in Europe, essentially there's like one potato. Sometimes it says for mashing or for boiling or for frying, but it's the same. It's a white potato. Normally the cheapest potato variety is my favorite one. Because I accept all potatoes of all shapes and sizes. They're all amazing. And my favorite potato dish is...
This is a very serious question.
That is a very serious question, yeah. What is my favorite potato dish? Mashed potato. Mashed potato is pretty good. It has all the vitamins you need to live. If you just ate mashed potato for the rest of your life, you wouldn't die. Whereas if you did that with any other vegetable or any other food, you would just die to death. So mashed potato is up there. It is up there, but you do have to put an ungodly amount of butter in it to make it like really good, and you don't want to do that because then you'll also die. Yeah, mashed potato. Even just all potatoes. You put potato in the oven, it's delicious. You boil it and mash it, delicious. You mix it with cheese, delicious. Everything potato is delicious. Someone says, please do a video on the Cindy's. I actually have a plan, like I have conceptualized a plan in my head to do a video on essentially all of the peoples of the world. That's the goal. But all of the peoples, especially of the Indian subcontinent, because there are so many and they've been around for so long, yeah, they're going to get a video. Sindhis, Bengalis, everyone's going to get a video. Okay.
Another question. Also, I'm not making up these questions because somebody said it in the chat. They were posted in the comments when we asked for them.
They were posted in the post yesterday and on Twitter and on...
I'm not just making them up. So somebody asked if gravy is a soup.
I've eaten gravy by itself with a spoon before, so I would say it is a soup. It depends on your mental state, really. Someone says, are you vegetarian/vegan? I am vegetarian. I've been vegetarian now for like
8 years.
Like 8 years, yeah. Since I was like 18, I turned vegetarian. Not vegan, unfortunately, because I do really, really, really like cheese. But if it wasn't for cheese, I would do it. An egg, actually. Yeah, no. Couldn't do that.
Butter.
And butter. And butter. But other than those three huge things, I would be vegan. Someone saying gravy is custard. Your gravy should not have a custard-like consistency. And it should be sweet. But it is a soup. Someone says, since I'm Irish, can I speak Irish Gaelic? I can. Also, just a fun fact. In Ireland, the language isn't called Gaelic. Gaelic is what you would call like the language in Scotland. Normally, it's actually a very good tell because normally people outside of Ireland say Gaelic, so you can immediately tell whether or not the person knows a lot about Ireland and the Irish language by whether or not they say the word Gaelic or Irish. The language is called Irish. But yeah, I can speak it. I went to school entirely in Irish. So when I did maths class, when I did biology, all of those subjects were taught to me in Irish, which was pretty cool. I'm not really good. I wasn't really good at Irish. I'm really dyslexic, and so I was kind of behind. So I didn't understand a lot of the biology and maths that were taught to me. But it was nifty, regardless. Someone says, how many languages do I speak? I speak English. I speak okay Irish, but it hasn't been like, I haven't spoken it in a while. I speak fairly mediocre Spanish. No?
I wouldn't say mediocre, it's pretty good.
Pretty mediocre. And then I can say some words in German because I did German for like 6 years in school. I passed it, but I couldn't really have a conversation. So I speak one language and rough ones. And also I live in the Netherlands and I want to learn Dutch. But because of all of the Corona stuff, all of the classes have been closed. And I didn't want to do classes online because one of the reasons I want to go to classes is to meet other people in the same city as me. So now that the classes are available in person, I'm going to go to a Dutch class and learn Dutch. Because most people want to learn the language so that they can like communicate with people in the country. I want to learn the language because I want to be able to like kind of just like listen in and be nosy to like conversations happening around me. And when you live in a country where you don't speak the language, it's so much harder. Because everyone in the Netherlands speaks English. For some reason, they speak English to me even before they know I'm not Dutch. I just have a look about me where people are like, yeah, he doesn't know what we're talking about. Someone says, how old am I? I am 26 years old. Someone says, what is the difference between being vegan and vegetarian? Vegans don't eat any animal products. So like honey, anything from the cow, milk, cheese, butter, anything that's an animal product they won't consume. And I'll go back to those previous questions. So someone asked, how do you understand and teach concepts from foreign cultures so well? And well, I'm glad to hear that I do it well. That is nice. Because I take this stuff, I do take this very seriously. When you're talking about other people's religions and other people's cultures, the last thing you want to do is to kind of muck it up, you know? You don't want to, not even offend, I just don't want people to feel like they haven't been understood or that a foreigner is just talking about them as if they are props or like not a real living culture. Which annoys me sometimes when I watch other documentaries or other people talking about other cultures where they kind of talk about them like they're these like stagnant, unmoving things that like have always been the same or like aren't, you know. Hopefully that makes sense there. And so what I try and do is I try and like really understand the culture and what's happening in it and what the people in that culture care about, which is why when we did the Tamil video, one of the things that I understood and I picked up right away was that Tamil people love the Tamil language. Tamil people love Tamil cinema. And even if maybe in like the broad history of Tamil history, which has gone on for like thousands of years, cinema probably hasn't been a big part of it. And so if you're making a history of the Tamils, cinema might not stand out to you as something to cover. But to modern Tamils today who are alive, cinema is important. And so we included that because we wanted to really explain the culture to people. And so I try and do that with all of the culture videos. One way I do it actually is just by going onto like Facebook groups or Reddit or Twitter, searching some words, seeing what memes the people from that culture are posting. Because that also gives you like an actual insight into what those people are doing now and what they care about now and also what they find funny and relevant. That's not like a very academic thing to do, maybe. But, I don't know, memes are important and they do give you an insight. Someone says, have you ever worried about possible backlash due to wrong info about any culture or group accidentally added in your videos? Yeah, all the time. Whenever I'm writing the scripts, I'm always worried that like something's gonna be wrong, or it's gonna be taken the wrong way, or this isn't correct, or I'm oversimplifying to incorrectness. Malay Archer is in the chat. Malay Archer is really cool. He does all of the machinimas and a lot of the animations for Kings and Generals. Go check out his channel. He's really, really good at what he does. And he's just cool in general. What was he talking about?
Not
offending cultures. Yeah, I'm always worried about that because the last thing I want to do is offend or get anything wrong, especially with oversimplifying. Like, these scripts are 2,000 words to roughly 3,000 words. You can't compress any culture or any historical event into that amount of words. Like, well, you know, you need to be very careful. When you oversimplify things, sometimes the context you leave out completely changes the situation. And a lot of the time, that's also why it takes forever to write the scripts, because I'm at like 95,000 words trying to get to 3,000. But I'm like, no, this tiny event that happened in 1759 is really important, blah, blah, blah. And but eventually, you also just have to get over it, because it's like, I can't spend forever writing the scripts. I have to hope that people will try and understand why something was oversimplified, why something was, why it was kind of like, kind of just like, what's the word for brisked over? No, breezed over. So yeah, that's what I want. That's also, sometimes people mention the comments where they're like, oh, you forgot to mention, and for me that's the worst comment, because like, I didn't forget to mention anything. I spent 2 weeks wondering whether or not I should leave this out, whether it should work. It wasn't forgotten. It was just, we made a choice. Sometimes it's not the right choice. Sometimes it is. That's for people who watch it to decide, I guess. I have no idea what the original question was, but
if you're worried about offending, like,
oh yeah, but words left my mouth. Is this channel name influenced by René Descartes? I've never read his name aloud before. Descartes. That's how you say it. Yeah. The Cogito ergo sum is where I got the name from, because I just thought, okay, the channel is going to be about things that I think. And I was like, I don't understand Latin, but I understood that like Cogito ergo sum means I think, therefore I am. So I assumed that Cogito meant I think. So I just took the word Cogito, made it the channel name, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was cute, and it's just like easy bite-sized word. I know it's actually supposed to be pronounced Cogito, but we're not that classy. We're not going to speak Latin correctly. Okay. Is it still mono? People are still mentioning the thing.
Yeah.
It's still mono. Oh, that is disappointing. That is disappointing. Really wish I could figure out why. Someone says, what software do we use to make the videos? We use the entire Adobe suite. So at the minute, like, we use Adobe After Effects is where I do all of the animations. So all of the character animation, background animation, all of the motion graphics, that's all done in Adobe After Effects. All of the drawings, so all of the Cogitos, all of the backgrounds are drawn in a program called Adobe Illustrator. And then all of it is put together in a program called Adobe Premiere. And yeah, that's how I make it. They are the worst, the worst products ever. If you've ever used Adobe Illustrator, no, Illustrator is good actually. It's mostly just After Effects. After Effects is hell. It is slow, and it breaks, and it deletes days of work whenever it feels like it. But we get them done. Someone says, what am I drinking? Oh, you must have missed the beginning of the stream. I am drinking an espresso martini because I'm classy and because the coffee helps keep up the energy. Okay, let's see. What's the previous questions? Oh, I did actually have a pretty fun game. Ooh, opened up my email by accident. That's not what I wanted to do. I had a pretty fun game that I thought we could play. Let's see. I'm lost in the interface. Where am I? Okay. So I had a pretty fun game that I thought we could play. I've been addicted to this for like the last week. You told me about it. Mm-hmm. It's like a geography kind of quiz. use a time limit, and you have to try and get as many countries or flags in the certain time limit. I thought it'd be really fun to do it, and then maybe other people can do it after. We can post your high scores. We can see who gets the most. So I'm going to go to the website now, and let's see how this works. Control. Boom, boom, boom. Okay.
What are you going to do, countries or flags?
Well, I'm going to leave that up to the chat. I'm going to put this on the screen so they can see it. I have a thing here. Is this it? Okay. Let's see if this is it. When you're doing all these Windows things live, changing window, it's very confusing because I'm not sure what I'm going to put up on the screen. Let's see. Okay. This is the one I want, I think.
So we have one country and 2 flags.
Okay. 1 country, 2 flags.
3 flags. The flags are winning.
That's grand. Okay, I'm going to transfer over to the screen now. Transition. Hopefully that worked. I could never be a Twitch streamer or a live streamer. I struggle with this interface so much. It transitioned?
We see you in the corner and the screen is in the...
That's me in the
bigger.
corner. Okay. Perfect. So, I'm not sure if anyone has played this game before. It is amazing. So I'm just going to do we'll do a quick poll. You can either do how many countries can you guess in 15 minutes or how many flags can you identify in 18 minutes. So just post the words flag and or country, not and or country into the chat and we'll see which one wins. I think flags is harder. Countries is you can just guess
flags
countries.
Flags is definitely harder.
Yeah.
Because countries you just say
spam,
names of countries.
Okay, we're getting flags. Flags. Oh, it's like even.
Oh. Yeah.
As this happens, I'm going to drink my martini.
I think flags is winning.
Okay, flags is winning. Okay.
We'll just do flags then.
We'll do flags. Okay, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, all of the super chats are going to be donated to the World
Central Kitchen.
I can never remember the name of it. The World Central Kitchens. All of the super chats are going to be donated to them because they are feeding Ukrainian refugees at the border at the minute. And so I would just like to do something good with the stream. So if you make a super chat, we will donate that to the World
Central Kitchen.
Oh my god. The World Central Kitchen. The World Central Kitchen. You can put the link in the chat if you want to. If you want to donate directly, but you can also, if you donate a super chat, we will donate it to them. And I'm thinking now, with this flags game, there's 197 possible flags. So, however many flags I get, I will also donate that amount of money to the oh my god, the World Table Foundation.
Central Kitchen.
The World Central Kitchen. Oh, the brain fart. Okay. Let's see. So, however many flags I get, because I was thinking, I was like, oh, okay, I'll donate whatever I don't get, but then I'm competing against giving people money. So I want to do it so like, however many flags. Oh, because it's slow chat. Yeah, I'm sorry. I put it on slow chat because I'm dyslexic, and when the chat moves really fast, I can't read it. It's too jumbled. So that's why it's on slow chat. But I'm not gonna look at the chat when I'm at the flags because I feel like that's an advantage, and I want it to be a contest. So however many flags we get, we will donate that money to the World Central Kitchen.
Good job.
I did it. Okay. Well, maybe I will take this. I'll lower the chat from like 60 to 30, so people can have a little chat. Especially now when I'm going to be typing and stuff, so people can have little chats together. If I can find where I am on the screen. Okay, how do I change this? Stream settings. Stream health. Technical difficulties. I'm offline.
You're not offline.
Okay. The internet said I was offline. Oh, I have to go and edit. Okay. Done now.
The internet lied to you.
Customization. Okay. Slow mode has now changed to 30 seconds. I can't make it lower than that because otherwise I can't read the chat with my big dyslexic brain. Okay, so can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's raise some flags. Hopefully the keyboard isn't too loud. Okay, this country is... What flag is that? Oh, it's a Caribbean flag. I don't know. This is...
Can you zoom it in a little bit, maybe?
Okay, we'll restart. Let's see if I can zoom it in. No, that's zoom out. Nice. Okay. How was that?
No, yeah. Better. And lower it a little bit. Perfect.
Okay, let's do it. That is Micronesia. That is Malaysia. That is Peru. Okay, I have to say that is. Belize? Nice. Zimbabwe. Cyprus. Ooh, yeah, this dyslexia is not going to help with the countries either. Honduras. Barbados. No? No. I don't know what. Oh, God. That's South Korea. Finland. Syria? All of the Arab flags are very similar. It's very confusing. Serbia. No. It's the Montenegro. No. Slovenia. Nice. Ghana. No. Guinea. No. Senegal. No. I'm coming back to that one. Ah, this is Kenya. This is the Pope place. Vatican. Okay. India. Kuwait? No, Kuwait's square. This is... I'll get back to you as well. Belgium. I wish I could see... This flag was already up, no?
I feel like it was.
I feel like I already saw this flag.
Maybe the colors were in a different order.
This is a Polynesian one now. Ooh, is it? No. Not Barbados.
Just move on if you don't
No,
know.
Antigua and Barbuda. No. It's a Caribbean one then, no? Iran. Iran has a pretty cool flag. I know this one. This is Vanuatu. 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 Nice. Saudi Arabia. Madagascar. If I could spell it. Madagascar. Nice. Iceland. Inselland. That's annoying. Is it Djibouti? Djibouti? No. Afghanistan. Russia. Somalia. Philippines. 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 Is it 1P?
No, I think it's 2.
Oh, 1L, 2 Ps. Nice. Vietnam. Tajikistan? No. Uzbekistan? No. Dominican Republic. This is mostly just the how much can he struggle with spelling words game. That's Dominic's Republic. No, it's Dominican Republic. That's spelled correctly, no? Dominican Republic.
Maybe it's not the Dominican Republic.
It definitely is. If it's not, it's Panama. Oh, what's Panama? Oh, this is Trinidad. No, that is just red. I don't know. This is Djibouti. If I can spell it. The booty. Djibouti.
B-O.
B-O-U-T-I.
U-T-I.
It's not. No. Oh, it's the Ivory Coast. No, they have our flag. It's the one that's next to the Ivory Coast. Sierra Leone. Ooh, Leon? Leon. Nice. Bahrain. This is Djibouti. They're all Djibouti. It was Djibouti! Argentina. Rwanda. Brazil. Singapore. Singapore. The one with the AK in the flag. Portuguese colony. Mozambique. Mozambique. Kazakhstan. I'm not sure why doing a voice helps you remember them, but it just does. Kazakhstan. That's exactly it.
Kazakhstan? Just H?
It's just H?
No C.
No C. Kazakhstan.
Oh,
no.
Sorry, I thought it was.
Kazakhstan. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
This is either Poland, Monaco, or Indonesia. Let's say Poland. Oh, Nigeria. Bolivia. Bolivia is a great country. Everyone should go to Bolivia. I love Bolivia. Bolivia. United States. Tiny country in Borneo. Brunei. Canada. Oh, the other one that has the Indian flag. Chad? No. It's almost like Chad. It's close to Chad. It's not the Central African Republic. What's the other one? Niger. Pakistan. Nepal. Nepal's easy. Czech Republic. I know that because I lived there. Let's say Czechia. See, it accepted it. Zambia? Estonia?
Senegal?
No, this is Myanmar. Nice. Palestine? No. If it's not Sudan? No. It's not Kuwait. It's not Iraq. Is it Iraq? No. Did I spell Palestine correctly? Yeah, no, Palestine's a triangle.
Yeah, no.
Who are Jordan? No.
People are saying United Arab Emirates.
Oh, the UAE. Yeah, okay. This is Ghana. No. Then it is Benin. No. Is it Guinea? No. This is Palestine. No. Then this is Jordan. No. Then this is Iraq. No. Is it Syria? Or did I already get Syria? It's not Egypt. Egypt has an eagle. I'll get back to it. Turkey. Turkey's easy. Not Botswana. The Gambia, because there's a little river going through the flag. Okay, Mongolia.
That's adorable.
Guyana? No. Guinea? What? G is in my head. Is it not Samoa? No. I don't know why I went from G to Samoa, but that's how it worked. It's African. This is... Oh, yeah, Timor-Leste. That's not African. It's very far away. This is Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. Croatia. Monaco. Burkina Faso. Okay. Paraguay. No, Costa Rica. Costa Rica. Attica. Costa Rica.
It's a spelling challenge.
Ivory Coast. Flag Brothers. This is Mauritius. No, Mauritania. Mauritania. Chile. Oh, Lebanon with the tree. Lebanon. This is Senegal. No. This is Ghana. It's not Ghana. This is Guinea. Is it Guinea? Guinea-Bissau? Guinea-Bissau. No. Cameroon. Can't spell it.
People in the chat are saying Guinea-Bissau.
Okay, let's try.
G-U-N-I-A.
N.
No, Guinea space Bissau.
A-U. I'm almost...
I don't
Is
know.
there a dash?
I don't know.
Rigged.
That's how people are spelling in the chat.
This is Honduras. If it's not Honduras, then it's El Salvador. If it's not El Salvador, then it is Guatemala. Knew it. Honduras? No. If it's not Honduras, then it's El Salvador. What's the other one? Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua. I'm spelling it wrong. Nicaragua. Nicaragua. No.
No, you were right. You were missing an A.
Okay.
Nica, R-A.
R-A.
A.
A.
G-U-A.
Knew it. See? Luxembourg? No. Is it Luxembourg? Oh my god, Luxembourg's gonna really screw me up. Luxembourg. Luxembourg. It is a spelling challenge. Oh, I know this one. This is the Marshall Islands. They have a really cool flag. Marshall Islands. Spain. This is Ghana. No. It has to be Senegal. Eventually it was Malawi? No, it's not Malawi. It is other one. What are you? Sao Tome? No.
Lesotho?
Ah, Lesotho.
No.
Yeah. Ah, this is Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea. Georgia. Oh, this is Venezuela is the super extra one. Yeah. Venezuela. Venice. Ela. Nice. This is not. It's not Belarus. But it's one that has a similar flag. It is Oman. Nice. Oh, this one has a really cool flag. Turkmenistan. No, it's Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan.
I would help you, but I don't know how to spell it either.
Yeah. Maybe it's wrong. I think it's Kyrgyzstan. I know they have like a baller flag. Can you spell? Is the chat spelling Kyrgyzstan?
How do you spell Kyrgyzstan, chat? Okay, we have an answer. K-Y-R-G-Y-Z. S. Yeah.
Okay. S-T-A. Oh, okay. Oh, Bosnia. And another hard one. Herzegovina. 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 Why are all the hard, like this, difficult to spell ones here?
We have 6 minutes left.
Okay, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Herzegovina. I know you, Bosnia. I know it's you, but I'll come back to you, Monaco.
Yeah, just focus on the easy spell.
It was not Monaco, it's Indonesia. I will never forgive Bosnia for this. If it's not there. Chad. Don't know that one. Ethiopia. Ethiopia. I think I've just revealed to a bunch of people that I can't spell anything. Palau. No?
Well, dyslexia.
Palua. There we go. If it's not Andorra. No, if it's not Andorra, then it's Moldova. Netherlands. Who are you?
5 minutes left.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, I know this one too. Okay, no, doesn't matter. This is Morocco. Suriname. Turkmenistan? No, it's not Turkmenistan. It is Uzbekistan. Tajikistan. Yes. Barbados. No. Barbados? No. If it's not Barbados, it's Bermuda? No. Other one. Bahamas. No. Well. Cuba. Denmark. This is Azerbaijan. Oh god.
Okay,
Azerbaijan. Okay. Honduras. Did I already get Honduras? No. Then this is El Salvador.
No.
No?
Just keep going.
Okay.
4 minutes left.
Hungary. New Zealand. Vanuatu? You know? If it's not Vanuatu, then it is... Oh, who are you? Who are you? Serbia. Albania. Namibia. France. Austria. Okay. Syria? No. Iraq? No. Oh. This is Andorra. It is very similar to like the Moldovan flag.
A lot of them are very similar.
Palestine. That was an unfortunate coupling of flags. Djibouti. No, I already got Djibouti. Oh, I know that one. Burundi. Tuvalu. Armenia. They're gonna be in the next video. Ecuador. No, Colombia. Colombia. Antigua and Bermuda. No, Barbuda. Paraguay. Not Jamaica. Not Senegal. Not Senegal. Oh, doesn't matter. Okay, 2 minutes. This is Kuwait because they have the weird. Okay, this is Dominica, the only one that has purple. Dominica. Samoa because it looks like Taiwan. Mexico because it looks like Mexico. Bhutan because it has a dragon. Mauritius because it's a rainbow. Mauritius.
No, without the A at the back.
No A?
At the back.
Oh, Mauritius. Ios? Nice.
Yeah.
Not Botswana. Sneaky. Not Turkey. And Tunisia? Oh, nice. South Africa. Ireland!
Woo!
Seychelles. Romania. Central African Republic because it has a little central thing. African Republic. Nice. Kosovo. China. Thailand? I don't know you. Japan. Democratic Republic of the Congo. Sweden. South Sudan. Italy. This is not Denmark again. Norway. This is the other Congo. Republic of Congo. Oh, spell check. Republic. Okay. Haiti. This is Barbados because they have the Triton. Okay. This is Ecuador. Ecuador. Benin? No. Guinea?
1 minute left.
Okay, skip them. Maldives? No. Turkmenistan? Turkmenistan? Nice. Eswatini. No, then it's Swaz. I know it's the same place, but I'm not sure which one they. Oh,
okay, 40 seconds. Keep going.
Swaziland.
Okay.
Cambodia. Grenada. Australia. The other New Zealand. Bulgaria. Okay, give me some. Oh, Liechtenstein.
No, move on.
Yeah,
You can't spell
screw
it.
Liechtenstein. Oh, North Korea. Greece. Botswana. Liberia. Bangladesh.
8 seconds.
Honduras! Who are you?
Keep going.
Oh, this is not Micronesia, the other one. Oh, what did we get? 137. Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's okay, I guess. I get an A for average.
You didn't get Uruguay?
Yeah, I didn't get Uruguay.
No, it didn't appear.
Okay. How do we go back
That's
to the
really good. 70%.
transition? Are we back to me? Are we back to me now? Okay, I think we're back to me now. I'm gonna
Yes.
open the chat again. So that means we're going to donate €137 to the World Central Kitchen. So who they are feeding Ukrainian refugees at the border of on the border with Ukraine and Poland. They're also helping out people who are moving with their animals because a lot of animals had to be abandoned when the war started. So people who are going there with their animals can also get the animals fed, which is really good because a lot of people stayed behind just to protect their cats and their dogs. The people at the Kiev Zoo stayed behind and took care of the bears and lions there and are now trying to move them. So we'll donate all the live chats, super chats, to them, and we will also donate all of the 137 flags that we got. Okay. If anyone wants to link the game, you can. It's super addictive.
I'll put the link in the chat.
Put the link in the chat. It's just such an addictive game. I love it. Really do. There's also another one where it just puts a map of the world and you just guess all the countries on it. It's also just good to figure out like where everything is. I'm just gonna see if, and we're gonna read back at the chat just because I couldn't see it when I was doing the flag chaos. Oh, it's just a bunch of country names. Okay.
The thing is, it was a little bit delayed, so they could only help us when it was like you were stuck on one for a few seconds.
Okay. But yeah, do that game. You'll learn so many flags.
It's pretty fun to do.
Someone should say I should play GeoGuessr. I can't. GeoGuessr, I don't like that game. I can never get it. I never know where I am. Even when I'm walking around, I have no idea where I am. I'm not going to find it in random places of the world. Plus, it's always Russia. Everything is Djibouti now. I know the Djiboutian flag. I've seen it so many times, and then I forget what it is whenever it's shown to me. And for me, any flag that I don't recognize, I just assume it's Senegal, and I just type it in. And eventually you get Senegal. So. Yeah, people are doing the game now. You should do it. Do it. And then if you want, like, put your scores in the chat. Tweet your score at me. Whatever you want. I want to see how much of the world people know. Someone says, have I heard of Bhutan? Yeah, we got their flag that has a dragon on it. Bhutan's a super cool country in the mountains, in the Himalayas, that has very few people in it, but it's supposed to be the world's happiest country. But they also came up with the measurement for world's happiest country. So I'm not sure how that worked. But it seems like a cool place. I want to go. Someone said, what's my favorite pizza? My favorite pizza is like plain margarita pizza. Not because I don't like toppings, but I just feel like that is the best form of pizza. You get tomato sauce, you get your mozzarella, you get your basil, you get a little bit of oil. Perfect. But it has to be like a Neapolitan pizza. If you get like one of the American pizzas that's very stiff, it doesn't work as much. It needs to be a Neapolitan one that's falling apart. Delicious. Someone says, how do you know so much about world history? Are you a student? No, I never. Well, I did. I went to college, but I went for like 4 months before I dropped out. I just know about world history because I read a lot. I watch a lot of videos. And I don't know. I don't actually know that much about world history. It's also like I make videos about world history, so I'm obviously gonna pick stuff up because of that. But my knowledge of most of history and most of world history and geography, blah blah, it's like surface level. I don't like. That's just how it is. You can never know that much about stuff unless you really dedicate like your entire life to it. And there are people who dedicate their entire lives to like 15th century Italian shoemaking. And even if you ask them, they're like, oh, oof, I barely know about any of the shoemaking techniques. Like I only know of a few hundred of them. Yeah, that's just how knowing stuff works. The only reason it looks like I know what I'm talking about is because I have a script. So, yeah. Someone says, where did you get the inspiration for your art style? I really like it. It's very cute. The art style mostly comes from the fact that I can't draw that well. So I spent a lot of time. I came up with it because I was working in Granada in Spain as like a night receptionist. So from like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. In a hostel. So essentially no one really came in from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And the ones that did, I didn't actually have to interact with. They just walked into the room. So I was just free all night. I had this little laptop and I just started to like draw little characters on it. And I was like, okay, I need this character for these videos. I want it to be like extra credits. I want it to be like kind of an anime, like Crash Course, kind of this animated style, but I need a character that's easy to reproduce and easy to move. Although originally they didn't even move, but I thought I was going to be great at animation for a while, and it didn't. But I wanted it so that the character had a big head, that I could put kind of identifiable headgear and hair on, and also a big chest, so I could put uniforms and kind of cultural, historical things on it to make them easily recognizable, but also easy for me to draw. So I just created this kind of weird, mushy character.
Somebody asked what your favorite fruit is.
Favorite fruit? Kiwi. Kiwi is the best fruit, objectively. Or tomato. If we're going to get spicy and be all technical, the best fruit was objectively tomato. It's delicious. You can make sauces out of it. If you make a kiwi sauce, that is disgusting. But if you just want to sit down and eat a fruit, kiwi. It's also like the healthiest fruit. And it also comes in its own little receptacle. You just cut it in half and it's like amazing. If someone says come to Brazil, I've already been to Brazil. Brazil's nice. I love Brazil. Really cool country. Although I did get crippling sunburn when I was there. I literally burned like my entire body. Behind the ears, elbows. Somehow burnt the soles of my feet. It was horrible, and it was winter in Brazil as well. So like, really tough time. I remember like I couldn't put a t-shirt on for like days. Which only made the sunburn worse because I was just exposed to the sun. Brazil's nice. I like Brazil. I want to go back. I do really want to go back.
Somebody asked what your favorite food is. Not fruit.
Oh, my favorite food, not fruit.
No.
Oh, okay. Favorite food.
Both questions.
I love pizza, but it has to be like a really well-made pizza. I like to make my own pizza. I ferment my own dough. I make the whole thing. It's a good time. Takes forever because you have to ferment it for like 3 days. Because if you ferment your pizza dough for like less than like at least for less than a day, less than 2 days, you're gonna get all bloated as the pizza ferments in your stomach. So I like to ferment my own pizza dough. It's delicious. It's a good time. Other than pizza, I do love curry. I really, really, really like curry. But it needs to be like a really well-made curry. Indian food in general, I love. We made something a while ago. Panak paneer. It's the spinach one. Oh, panak paneer is the spinachy one. Delicious. Dal. Delicious. Jackfruit curry. Oh, jackfruit curry is... It's good. It's good. Yeah, other than that, I like spicy food in general. Anything spicy, I'll eat. Mexican food, actually. Oh, tacos. Tacos, top 10 valid foods. Good food. Tacos. But again, it has to be a good taco. Again, if the food is good, then it's better. Someone says, what sort of curry? I'm not good enough of a cook to like make specific curries. I just put all the spices in the pot. I toast them, and then I just put all the stuff on top. I don't know what the names of them are. There's not that many good Indian restaurants in the Netherlands. So I haven't been able to like go out and eat a decent one. Someone says tacos are fire, so tamales, yeah. All Mexican food is good. All Mexican food is delicious. Mexico cheated. I don't know what they did. They somehow got amazing weather and amazing food, and I want to figure out like what they did there. Someone says, what web series am I binging? I actually don't binge on my TV shows. Not even half, like 95% of what I watch is literally just RuPaul's Drag Race and assorted drag races. Other than that, the only other thing I've watched in like the last month is Arcane, which is amazing. If you haven't seen Arcane, I've never played League of Legends. I don't know what League of Legends is about. I don't know what league it is. I don't know who the legends are. I don't know what they do. But Arcane is an amazing TV show. You don't need to know anything about League of Legends to watch it. It is like perfectly animated. It is gorgeous. It's really sad, which for me, love a sad TV show. And yeah, it just looks great. It looks amazing. Oh, Mad Cat, thank you for the super chat. Who said, found your channel about 2 weeks ago through your Sikhism video and have been watching since. I've learned so much and I was never taught in school. So thank you. Yeah, I'm really glad you just found the channel. I'm always really excited when people leave comments and they say like, oh, I just discovered the channel and now I'm watching all the videos, because I've done that myself, not with my own channel, but with other channels, do you know when you find them and you realize they have like a whole year of like backlog for you to watch? That's the best. I also like finding new channels, but the worst part about a new channel is that like they have 5 videos. They're 5 great videos, but like I have more time than that. Give me a whole year of videos. So when I get to be that person, love it.
Hi Oreo.
Someone says, do I like butter snakes? They're better than margarine snakes. Good band.
Somebody also asked, how much of an Age of Empires fan are you? I see the references.
I'm like an Age of Empires fan from a distance. I can't play the game first. Like I played it as a kid, a lot as a kid, but I didn't actually play it in the way it's meant to be played. I would just like build a little base, make a little army, and then when the computer attacked, I would just be like, no, it's too stressful. And I would stop playing, and then I would just restart and do the same thing again. Because I just liked watching all the little characters move around. Today, I've tried to play Age of Empires. It's very stressful. For me, in general, I can't play any game. Other than, like, I have Mario Kart. I play that game every now and then. Other games, it's too much. It's too much happening on the screen. It's too chaotic. I can't deal with it. But I do like Age of Empires, how it looks. And I also reference it a lot in the videos because, like, for me, as a memory, it's really important. And I really like it. But I haven't played it in a while. Okay.
Somebody keeps asking you to say 1,000. They're like spamming the chat.
1,000. 1,000. There you go. I can't hear. I can't hear what the difference is. But if you like how I say 1,000, go ahead. Someone says, "What's your next video on?" The next video is on. Oh my god, I'm animating it now. Why can't I remember? Baghdad. The next video is on the history of the city of Baghdad and how important it is in like global history, and the Islamic Golden Age. Everything. It's really cool. I made. I went a little bit far, and I made Baghdad in 3D, as close to like it is possible to make it. So it's like what I think personally is a good recreation of Baghdad. I made it in Blender, so we can go in and show you all the little nooks and crannies of the city, and I'm hoping to show that off. And we're also going to cover like Islamic conventions and all the things that they discovered in Baghdad, like numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Somebody asked if we're living in a simulation. I don't know why. There's like a few questions in the chat. So I think someone's having an existential crisis.
Aren't we all? Okay. It's a good espresso martini. Someone says, well, okay, do we live in a simulation? I do. I'm not sure if you do. You're probably real. I exist on the screen. I actually, once I leave the boundary of here, like my hand has left the realm. Oh no, it won't go off the camera. Stupid fisheye lens.
Do it to the other side.
This is way too much effort. But yeah, I don't exist. I'm actually like a non-real person. I only exist in the screen. You exist. You're not in a simulation. I am. And someone says, what are your thoughts on flat earth creationism? It's dumb. The earth's not flat. That's very obvious because you would fall off the edge. It also just wouldn't make sense with the sun and the equator and all those things. People have left and seen it. So yeah, flat earth stuff is always dumb. It's mostly just like a fun, the people who fall for flat earth just want to be convinced of anything, I assume. Someone says we live in a donut. I actually genuinely believe that we do live on a donut. But not that earth is a donut, but that the entire known universe is a donut. And the sprinkles are where all the real action's happening.
And somebody else asked, what are your thoughts on quantum immortality? Yes, Donalds.
Okay. I have very strong, developed, really well thought through thoughts on the quantum immortality. And yeah, it's great. Love Quantum. Great rapper. And his song Immortality is amazing. Okay, is these more questions? I also thought it would be a good idea if we rewatched some old videos that we've made. Like the channel, like especially the first few videos are rough. I haven't seen them now in like, I'm not sure when they went up, but years. I haven't seen them in years. Time has like completely dilated. I'm not sure if the channel started 2 years ago or if the channel started like 9 years ago. It's like, but whenever those videos went up, I was not good at making videos, and I thought it would be cool to like maybe watch like one or two of them. But maybe we'll do that later on the stream. The universe is a Mario Kart racetrack. The universe is a rainbow road, and we're all just slipping on banana peels.
What?
Earth is also potato. Oh, someone should make a potato donut. That would actually be pretty vile, but I would eat it.
I think it would be good.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends.
I mean, it would be salty. It wouldn't actually be a donut, but it would be nice.
Oh, someone said they like the Iranian food. Iranian food is really good. More people should know about it. There are like certain foods on the planet that people need to know more about. Iranian food, they do great rice. They're just rice perfecters. Native American food in general, delicious. I don't know why there aren't any Native American restaurants. There should be. Someone should get on that. Someone should be funding that. I want more. Also, more African, Ethiopian food is around, but like, unless you're in like London, I think it's pretty difficult to get like Nigerian food. So you know, why are we funding all this nonsense? Why are people buying missiles when we could be funding international Nigerian cuisine? If someone says if I like spicy food, I might like Syrian food. I think I've eaten some Syrian food. There used to be a good Syrian restaurant in Dublin. I do like it. Really like it. Someone says they love Iranian culture. Iranian culture is super cool. You're researching a video that involved Iran and like all of Iran's history, which is very long. But Iranian culture is just crazy how like stable it is over time. It's been around for so long and has kind of like, there's always been like Iranian, historically they call Persians. The Iranians call themselves Iranians, but everyone else is calling them Persians. It's the same thing. But it's just been like, essentially as long as there has been like history, people have been being like, oh, the Iranians, yeah, they have their shit together. Which I just find insane how consistent it is. The only other place I can think of that's as consistent as like a unit, as like a cultural thing that people can point at and be like, oh, that over there, those guys, is like China. It's China and Iran. They've just been around forever. Super cool. Love them. Iranian history, yeah, is super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had another.
If you watch some left tubers like ContraPoints, H Bomber Guy. Sean.
Yeah, do I watch left tubers like ContraPoints? Do I watch left tubers like ContraPoints, H Bomber Guy, Sean, and Vosh? I watch ContraPoints. I watch H Bomber Guy. H Bomber Guy is really good. I watch Sean. I don't watch Vosh. I don't know. Doesn't super appeal to me. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I also like. I always get confused when people ask me like who I watch on YouTube because I can never remember anyone's names in the moment. You could probably go through a list on my YouTube, but like yeah, I watch a lot of that kind of stuff. It's really good. I like videos. Anything that's like really well made, presents a really well thought out argument. I don't even care what it's about. I've watched videos on like the B movie and what it says about like the meaning of life. I don't care. Doesn't need to be important. If someone can like just lay out like a good debate, a good argument, I just like to see it. What are your thoughts on Monty Python? Monty Python is funny. Even now, it's like I'm not sure how long ago Monty Python was. Maybe the 70s. So it's been like a long time, and it's still funny. Most of the skits aren't, but like the ones that are actually famous that you see on YouTube are really good. The Life of Brian is also like just a really funny movie. Someone's talking about the City of Baghdad. Yeah, so we were making a video on it, but Baghdad was for a long time essentially the center of Eurasia. Everything went through it. They knew everybody. They were inventing all sorts of mad stuff. And importantly, historically, people tend to get kind of obsessed with the idea of like inventions in general. People think like, oh, if you're inventing stuff, you're doing really well. What I like to learn about especially is like when certain cultures become like the spreaders of ideas. And Baghdad was really good at that because of where it was positioned. It was like in the middle of all these trade routes. It took like a huge influence from like Greek culture, and Greek philosophy and Greek ideas, and it also took in like Chinese ideas, Chinese techniques of paper manufacture and all these really important things. And then it also brought in all these like ideas from like the Indian subcontinent, all these like concepts like zero and Arabic numerals, which are actually Hindu numerals, which now we use as like the numbers 1 to 9. And they like translated all these concepts and then spread them around the world. And so instead of like good ideas being in India and good ideas being in China and good ideas being in the Mediterranean and Europe, Baghdad brought them all together, formalized them, translated them, dropped what didn't work, and then like shared that information again, which is super cool. I have no idea why I started talking about that, but I just love Baghdad. Great place.
Somebody was talking about
the Baghdadis, a great bunch of lads. Have I ever tried Saudi food? No, I've never actually eaten Saudi food. You never see Saudi restaurants, oddly enough. Yeah. Someone says, will I make a video on occultism? Definitely. I'm reading a book now called Secret Religions, I think it's called. It's about occultism and the history of this concept of like secret religions and kind of esoteric kind of things and like secret societies over time and why they appeal to people and why they appear. And I think there's a video in there somewhere. So I'll finish reading it and then do further research and see what comes out of that. But yeah, all that kind of stuff, I love that stuff. We made a video on cults because cults are fun. I like seeing different religions and also like just like things that appeal to people. And there's something about, like these secret societies that is always kind of just like alluring and fun to read about. Because they always have like these kind of weird backstories that when you're not a part of it, like can be funny, but also it's like just really interesting to learn about.
Somebody's asking, what are your top 3 fun facts of history?
Top 3 fun facts of history. 1, okay, I always like to tell this. I tell this story to people, regardless of context, and sometimes I'm just yelling at people. But it's really funny. When the conquistadors got to the Americas, one of the first problems that they came across was that they were like deeply, painfully constipated because they refused to eat any of like the native flora. They wouldn't eat any vegetables. So you had all these guys walking through the jungles, going over mountains, trying to fight these battles, and like they were just stuffed up. And every single time they would meet a new group of native people, they would be like, hey, do you guys like have sweating? Do you guys, just by chance, just random idea, a friend of mine actually, he was wondering do you guys have like a remedy for constipation? And when I was reading about Cortez and his army and everything, that kept coming up, and every single time it came up, I just thought it was hilarious. That you have all these indigenous Americans just chilling, and then all of a sudden this guy in metal is like, hey, do you have like laxatives by any chance? You don't? Oh, okay. What if I were to kill you then? But yeah, that's one fun fact. Another fun fact. One actually interesting thing is Bengal, the area that is like now like the Bengal state in India and also like Bangladesh, was like this close to industrializing before the British destroyed it. But they were like super close. Like all of they controlled essentially the entire world's cloth manufacture and supply. Like they were known for like, if you want like good clothes, you want good cloth, you get it from Bengal. And they were so close to industrializing. And like at one point they were like a quarter, like this tiny region. If you've seen Bangladesh and Bengal, like they're a tiny part of the world. And they were making up like 25% of the entire planet's wealth and GDP and like crazy amount. When the British came in, they, for them, very intelligently destroyed all of their mills and their cloth manufacturing sites and all of the people who were good at making cloth, because the British were also cloth exporters, and for them that was competition. So the effects of that are still around, but like super interesting for me. Like they were like really close to creating their own industrial revolution If they hadn't been like messed with, we'd have no idea like what could have happened there. That could have been like that could have brought like the history of the planet in like a completely different direction. Okay. Third fun fact. What is a third fun fact? I feel like my fun facts have been really long. Normally it's like the Vikings didn't have horns in their helmets. But that's a fun fact. They didn't actually have horns, but they're kind of a boring one. Third fun fact. Let me think. Can't think of one off the top of my head. If people know any cool fun facts, to just put them in the chat, and maybe they'll spark like an idea in my head, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't know about that, and then I can expand on it. Coming up with things in the moment, not good. Doesn't really work with my brain. Muslin. Someone's like, yeah, the cloth they made in Bangladesh was called muslin. It's this like very, very, very thin fabric. I'm not sure if it's silk, but it looks a lot like silk. Oh, this is a fun fact. Silk. China owned silk for like a super long time. Like they kept how you make silk secret. If you explained to a foreigner how to make silk, they would kill. Like the crime for that, like the punishment for that crime was murder, not murder. When the state does it, it's not murder, it's execution. But yeah, and they kept the secret for ages. You had the Silk Road. Everyone wanted silk. The Romans wanted silk. The Middle East, everyone loved silk. Lovely material. China got super rich off of it for thousands of years. And then the Byzantine Empire under Justinian, who's like, if you know anything about the Byzantine Empire, you probably know Justinian. He's like the only famous Byzantine emperor. Two merchants go to him, and they're like, look, China, big silk energy, they're making loads of money off silk. What if we learn how to make silk, and then like the Byzantine Empire, who is us, we can make it, and we'll get really rich, richer than we already are. So these two guys go into China, and they dress up as like monks. I'm not sure if they dress up as Christian monks or Buddhist monks. They're some sort of monk. They go in, they like somehow like do some espionage. They get into like a silk factory, and they learn this thing that no one else knew, was that silk was made out of like the fibers of like a silk worm. Like they thought maybe like they were doing something to cloth, they were doing something weird to like really refine it. But no, they found out that it's like worm juice. Not worm juice, but like worms.
Worm juice.
Worm excretion. I don't know what worms do, but something like that. They learned that, and then they got some worms and they put it in their canes, because they were priests and not monks. They were monks, and monks always have a cane. So they put them in the cane, snuck out of China, got back to the Byzantine Empire, and then they taught people there how to make silk, and then like they just broke China's monopoly. And yeah, it's a fun time. Worms affecting the whole planet. It like, completely changed like Eurasian trade, because now like silk can come from more than one place. Someone says, I'm a woke queen. Maybe I am. Maybe.
It's because somebody else asked, why are you not making a controversial statement?
What kind of controversial statement do you want me to make? Also people stand a woke queen. I have lights. This is like pretty like, these are woke lights, no?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think Jacob Adams says, fun fact, ICANN civilization was completely socialist. I think what they're trying to say was that Incan civilization was completely socialist. And this actually is cool. This is my fourth fun fact. Welcome to Cogito Yells Fun Facts at you, unintelligibly for the next 9 hours. Because you've opened an Inca can of worms. An Inca can of worm excretions has been opened. Because I love the Inca. The Inca are like one of my like favorite civilizations of all time. They're super cool. They're insane. They live in the mountains when you just shouldn't do that. And they just dominate it. It's super cool. The Inca, though, people say they were I'm probably moving a lot, but I just got overwhelmed with Inca-ness. We stand an Inca queen. But the Inca, people say that they were like a socialist state, which isn't like, it's not exactly true, because socialism is like when people own the means of production. That's all it is. Socialism is just people owning means of production. When you own what you make, if you work in a factory and you make pants, you own like a share of the profit of those pants, not someone else. In Inca society, though, the people were the means of production, and the Inca emperor owned them. And the reason people think it was socialist is because the Inca Empire had this really cool system of keeping everyone alive. In the Inca Empire, there was no such thing as currency. Maybe they did invent it, but it didn't seem useful to them. Because Andean societies, which had been around for thousands of years, they live in this extremely hostile environment. The Andes are like, the weather changes every it's like, because it's so tall and so rugged that like you go up just a few meters and the weather's completely different. It's crazy. And because of this, like, weather can really impact crops and everything. It can wipe out crops like not Inca, but Andeans who live here, and Andeans live only like a few kilometers away. One of them can be affected by a famine when the other isn't because the weather is so different. And they came up with this system where it's like, okay, you take care of me and I take care of you. So when your crops die, it's fine, we'll give you our crops. It was this cycle of reciprocity. If you can't work because you're injured from a storm, I will till your fields. And if I need it, you'll do that. And they came up with this, like, the book I read said cycle of reciprocity, which sounds really cool. The Inca, like, and the kingdoms that were there before them refined this idea into, they had these warehouses. I think they're called huashcas. If they're not called huashcas, they're called tambos. It's one of those. And so what they did was, all of the resources in the empire that the emperor didn't take were stored in these storehouses. And when people needed them, they would go and they would just take things. There would be cloth there, there would be food, there would be clothes, there would be anything, llama. You could just go and take them. Or they would be distributed to all of the different like villages and units in the empire. And that way, like, if famine or weather like really affected one place, it wouldn't be like a disaster. People wouldn't die, because if people die, you have less workforces, you're less productive. And so they really figured that out. And so without money and without markets, they just distributed goods everyone needed, which people really read as like a socialist system. But the Inca people also did pay taxes, but because there was no money, they paid their taxes in this thing called mita, which was, for a few months of the year, you just belonged to the emperor. And he would put you on work projects. And if you've seen pictures of like Peru, of Inca ruins, Inca work projects are like massive. They just build these enormous stone fortresses and towers and all these kind of things. And that's how you paid your taxes. You just worked for a part of the year for the emperor. And for doing that, one, you were paid in enormous amounts of chicha beer, which, good time for everyone. They would throw a huge party at the end of the work year. Everyone got rewarded. Great time. And also, all of your basic needs were taken care of. You didn't have to worry about being clothed or fed or anything like that, because if you couldn't feed yourself, you could just take it from the storehouse. Which is, you know, I think, like, there's more. I read this in a book about the Inca, and the person was like, there's more hunger in Peru today than there was during the Inca Empire. As in, like, the Inca were better at feeding the populace than like an advanced modern society because of this system. And it's just one of those things where it's like, whatever a society prioritizes tends to get done. And they prioritized feeding and keeping everyone alive, because when everyone's alive, they can do work. And when they can do work, you, as emperor, get richer. So yeah, super cool. They also did human sacrifice, but so did most people. I always found that was a bit weird. Everyone uses that against like the American civilizations, and I'm like, okay, loads of people in the past kill people. It's not really like an attack against that group. Okay. Someone is also saying ancient Egypt had a communist economy called the palace economy, no money and yeah, that's true. A lot of the Mesopotamian ones and the Egyptian civilization had this very similar concept where it was like a lot of production was done in palaces or in estates owned by royalty, and then that was distributed. Like money would go in, and then goods and food would go out. And again, it's just a good way of like distributing stuff across an empire. in India, especially in South India, where the Tamils and everything are, they had a very, very similar thing in like the 1600s, no, earlier. Let's say 1100s to like 1300s. I'm not entirely sure. Very similar, but it was called like a temple economy. People would donate enormous amounts of money and food and goods and labor to temples, and the temples got super rich, and then they would reinvest a lot of the money in agricultural projects, like far-flung merchant projects. People would they would pay for merchants to go to like Indonesia, bring back spices and money, and again, just a good way of pooling resources together and then using that to make everyone richer. Yeah, cool. Look up like palace economy. Look up like Tamil temple economy. I think it's something like that. Really cool. God, I was talking for a really long time there. I'm out of breath.
You need a drink.
Oh my god.
You got excited.
Okay. Someone says, what do you think about the conspiracy theory of aliens building the pyramids? It's dumb. If you think aliens built the pyramids, that is someone asked me to say a controversial thing. That's a stupid opinion. If you think aliens built extremely easy to build stone triangles, that's a stupid opinion. We know how the pyramids were built. We have documents from the Egyptians, because they could write things down and they would explain, this is how we made the pyramids, this is how much we paid all the workers, my name is, what's an Egyptian name? Khufu, I'm the architect, he was the pharaoh, but whatever. This is how we did it. And people are always like, oh, well, you need so-and-so tools to make it. I'm like, oh, okay, do you know about Bronze and Iron Age architecture and tool make? No? Okay, this person does. He wrote a whole book on it. If you were to read that, it would explain more. But instead, people just watch like Ancient Aliens and they're like, oh yeah, no, this makes sense. And it doesn't. We know how the pyramids were built. It was actually like not super it wasn't difficult. Pyramids are like the best shape if you want like a building to last long over time. We know how they got the blocks there. We know how they moved them. They did this really cool thing where like they would pull the blocks, and in front of them there was a guy pouring water, which they kind of like smoothed down the sand and soil, which made it easy to pull the block up the ramp. Super cool. They did this other cool thing where like when you want to chip a block, like a limestone block, which is what the pyramid's made out of, you like kind of crack it a little bit and you pour water in the crack, and that creates like a good amount of pressure, and then it just like splits the rock in the middle. Really interesting. People do the same thing with the Inca. They're like, oh, the Inca could never have made these really cool things that like when they could. People who say this kind of thing, like they're like, oh, the Inca could never have cut this stone, don't know anything about Inca stoneworking. Whereas when you read about Inca stoneworking, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Of course they could do it. It's actually pretty easy to cut rocks. Humans do it all the time. Someone says say dumb. It is dumb. Like, why would aliens come down to Earth and teach ancient human beings how to make things exactly according to technology that they would have available at the time? Like, it doesn't make it. If they were to make the pyramids out of like Brazil wood from Brazil, I would be like, whoa, aliens were involved in that, because that's nowhere. No, they made it from limestone from Egypt, and it has markings from tools that you would use if you were from the Bronze Age. Okay. Someone says, have I read Lord of the Rings? I read Lord of the Rings a long time ago. Love it. The movies are my favourite movies of all time. The books are kind of hard to get through. They're, especially, my brain doesn't work well with that kind of descriptive language, but I do really like them. I really like the emotions in Lord of the Rings. And I like the main themes of like small people doing big things and overcoming obstacles, like with friendship and like relying on each other. And like I like it because it's one of those fantasy stories that isn't like super gory or like really focused on like violence and action. It's really focused on like small people doing things and caring for each other. And for me, like that's something I more relate to than like he killed them with the two-handed sword. But yeah, really cool books. A bit of a slog because they're so long and descriptive, but like the message is good. Let me see. Someone is saying gold has been made artificial. I don't know. I think that's an alien thing, but no, nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Somebody asked, what is your favorite Irish ballad?
I like Raglan Road. Like, I'm not sure if it's an Irish ballad, but it's a banger. That's by Luke Kelly. Is it Luke Kelly?
Yeah.
It is by Luke Kelly.
No?
I think so. Afro. Wonderful Afro. Great song. Raglan Road. What are some other
Luke
ones I
Kelly.
like? Yeah. I love the bald guy with a guitar. What's his name? It's a song about a horse. The song is called Ride On, and it is by bald Christy Moore. Christy Moore is just, writes really good ballads. Really good. The one about the horse, I really like it. It's a good beat. I know the words. It's fun to sing. So yeah, Christy Moore, Luke Kelly, pretty good. Someone says, do you think humanity should build some structures such as the hanging gardens just for fun and beauty? Yeah! Where are all the cool buildings? I feel like in the past, people just built stuff. Well, not, they didn't just build stuff. People used enormous amounts of exploited labour to build things for kings, but at least they looked cool. Now we do the same thing, but the buildings are just rectangles. And I'm like, yeah, build something interesting looking. You know, we have the Burj Khalifa is the really big one in Dubai. Is it Dubai? I've seen it. It's a boring looking building. It's the biggest building in the world, but it's just boring looking. Give it some plants to hang out the side. Make it a hanging garden. Put a giant gold triangle on it. I don't know. Carve someone's face into it. Where are all the face carvings? I haven't seen a face carved into anything in ages. Other than that mountain in America, which is awful looking. That's the only one that I'm anti-face carving on. Carve someone's face. Anyway, carve Snorlax's face. Look at this. If you were to carve somewhere, it'll look great and you get loads of tourism money. People should build more pyramids. We can build pyramids super easy and cheap now. And no one does. Except for there's the world's largest pyramid actually isn't in Egypt. It is a sporting goods store in America somewhere. That's a true fact. You can Google world's biggest pyramid store in United States and you'll see it, and it's ridiculous. But I loved it. I love the concept at least. Someone says how to learn editing. I'm actually a terrible editor. I don't want to toot my own horn. I think I'm a good animator, but as an editor, not very good. But you can learn anything on YouTube. Just on YouTube, whatever program you're using, Final Cut, Adobe Premiere, Google it, Adobe Premiere, how to, Adobe Premiere, tutorial, and you can learn anything.
Somebody had asked what your favourite YouTuber at the moment is.
Ooh, favourite YouTuber at the moment? I'm going to open YouTube and check what my recent subscriptions are. I've actually been trying to watch less YouTube lately, mostly because I'm just not getting any good recommendations. YouTube keeps recommending me old videos that I've already watched. Okay. Not Just Bikes is a really good channel about why the Netherlands is just a really well-designed country. Really good. Adam Ragusa is a guy who makes cooking videos, but kind of sciencey cooking videos, but they're really good. Let's see. Most of my subscriptions are to After Effects tutorial things. Oh my god, I have 900 subscriptions and at least 800 of them are to After Effects tutorial places. Al Mukaddem is good. He makes videos on Islamic history. You should check that out. He also has he's also a pretty good animator. FD Signifier, he's also really good. But that's kind of a more left tuber type thing. Let's see what is in my... Yeah, I don't watch enough YouTube. I really should watch more. Yeah, my YouTube... the reason this is happening is because I unsubscribed from a bunch of channels and then subscribed to a bunch of tutorial videos so that I could get better at animation, but it has made me a worse watcher of content now. But yeah, check out those channels that I mentioned. Oh, someone said the name of the pyramid in America. It's the Bass. Is it Bass? Bass Pro Shop. It's it's a fishing shop for fishing gear. And it's the biggest pyramid on the planet. Someone says, am I an atheist? I'm not religious. I don't believe in any religion. the word atheist is kind of like ruined now because in like the mid 2000s, atheists became insufferable. But yeah, I'm not religious, but I don't like using the word atheist because people think I'm gonna wear a fedora. But yeah, I am. Italian communist says Islam is a very interesting religion. Yeah. Again, as someone who grew up in Ireland, who grew up in Europe, Islam doesn't actually get like explained at all. You learn nothing about it until like maybe 10 years ago when people just started being super negative and weird about it. But if you actually learn about Islam as a religion and its history, you're like, okay. You can't. It's not one thing like all religions, but Islam tends to get the worst rap as like, oh, it's exactly this, and it's always been the same, and every single Muslim believes this exact thing. There's no differences. But no, Islam is like this huge religion, and it has built into it this concept of like law and argument. And so Islam as a religion like evolves constantly and like has all these debates happening in it that no one who isn't Muslim, and even a lot of Muslims, don't know about. Like they have this concept of law called fiqh. I hope I said it right. It's Fiqh, and it's constantly being debated. Like the concept of like even the Quran. Like the Quran is supposed to be like this kind of like more set in stone thing, but like you can debate what it means within like fiqh and like within Islamic discourse. And so if you, again, in our Baghdad video, Muslims invented a type of process of distillation, and the reason they invented it was to make stronger wine, because at that time, around the 9th to like 10th century, alcohol wasn't like banned in Islam yet. It was still something up for debate. It was only like kind of sealed as a topic later on once the debate was had, which is super cool. I think that's interesting. I love when you can see like how certain cultures and certain religions debate using their own logic. I always find it super cool because I'm like, okay, this is like their base. This is how they're interpreting that base, and these are the arguments they're making based on like this kind of set in stone thing. It's always just cool to learn about.
There's a person in the chat talking about how Muslim and Jewish weddings are really fun. If you've ever been one. I actually think this might sound weird. I think Irish people, Jewish people, and Muslims, especially Middle Eastern Muslims, are very similar. Like these very kind of tight knit family units. They like to talk a lot. They're really polite. They love food. They just love to like sit around in like family groups or extended family groups and have a chat and make passive aggressive comments at other people. Like, so yeah, like, people have this really weird concepts of people that normally when you actually talk to them or actually get involved in those groups, you find out, it's nonsense. Someone says, well, I'd like to visit India. I do want to visit India. But again, I would have to, and again, I didn't mention it yet, but I've said it in past streams. I want to take like a few months to go see India because it's massive and there's so many different cultural regions, and you have to get acclimatized to the weather and the food and everything, which takes a while. I went to Mexico and only went for like, how long were we in Mexico? Like 2 weeks? No, like a month or something?
Like a month. I was in Mexico for a month. And like even at the end of the month, I hadn't like properly acclimatized to like the food and the weather and everything and the water. And so like that, I would like to do that with India as well. I would like to get actually acclimatized, be living there and seeing everything in all the different cultural places. Mexico did not agree with my stomach. Rough time. I made the Hinduism video while in Mexico. Like most of you on this channel have seen my Hinduism video. It's like the biggest video on the channel. I made that in Mexico after I had eaten some street cheese. Don't eat cheese from the street.
I mean, you wasn't on the street.
No, but it was a person on the street selling a cheese stuff thing. I ate it out of commission for like 2 weeks. But luckily I made like my biggest video of all time while that was happening.
Moctezuma's revenge.
Yeah, Moctezuma's revenged. But yeah.
Somebody asked what your favorite place to visit is.
Mexico's up there. Mexico was amazing. We went to all these Maya ruins. It was super cool. We went to Uxmal, Chichen Itza, Tulum, all these cool ruins. Had an amazing time. Love Mexico. I also love the food. So that was one of my favorite places to go. Bolivia is like, has like a special place in my heart. I love Bolivia. Everyone there is nice. The country's amazing. You can see all these like amazing sights. There's llamas. So Bolivia's up there. What else? Morocco was also really cool. I liked Morocco. But like I don't like I freak out in crowds a lot. So and Morocco has a lot of crowds because like you have all these markets and everyone pours in. They're really small and narrow. So like I was like the whole time I was like, but it was cool when it wasn't like, don't touch me. Someone says by next year we want 100k watching on this channel for celebrating 10 million subs. I would love to have 10 million subscribers. I'm already nervous though about having 400,000 subscribers. Writing scripts when you realize hundreds of thousands of people are going to like watch this and hopefully learn from it is a lot of pressure. I try not to think about it when I'm writing the scripts. Or I'm like, well now we have a writer and she writes scripts too. And even when I'm like rewriting those, or even when we're making the videos, I'm trying to not freak out that like, yeah, lots of people are going to see these. If I had 10 million subscribers, I'm not sure if I would ever get anything done because I'd just be like, oh my god, what country has 10? All of Chile is going to watch this video, and that's a lot of pressure. Someone says, bro, you're melting in the air. I actually do really well with heat. I don't do well with the sun. Like if it's like 40 degrees, I'm fine as long as I'm in the shade. But like yeah, as soon as the sun hits me, I will burn. But I do good with heat. I do really bad with cold. I get cold, and when it's below 20 degrees, I'm cold.
Somebody asked what your favorite podcast is.
Our Fake History is a really good podcast about fake histories. So I'm listening to now one about the Templars, like myths about like the Knights Templar. Really cool. But he does like things like that. He'll be like, he probably has one on like the pyramids, and he explain all these things about the pyramids and like why people believe he has got a good one on Atlantis, and he covers like how Atlantis became this kind of like weird esoteric thing that people got obsessed with, like it's real, and like all civilization comes from Atlantis, and how those myths get made and why they're wrong, and it's really fun. So Our Fake History, really good one. Someone says you make amazing scripts, they're hilarious and informative. Thank you. The scripts, I always worry about the scripts because I'm like, I hope this is. There's a problem. There's like a research problem, which is like when you do all the research, your brain kind of loses track of what is general knowledge and what is something that only someone who's done this research would know. And so you have to keep in mind, like, okay, what needs to be explained and what can I assume people know? Because you don't want to explain things people already know, because then it sounds condescending and it's boring. But you also don't want to just like jump in the middle of like a story and people be like, okay, what's going on? Who's this person? What time period are we in? What's this? And that's always like a difficult balance. But the fact that people say they like the videos and like the scripts is like, okay, it's working at least. Okay. Oh yes, I have another drink ready. Here's one I made earlier.
That's just water though.
Yeah, but bubbly water. Someone said, how do you learn to do animations? You can learn anything on YouTube. And like After Effects, just Google how to do this in After Effects. Like you're never going to find like a video that's like, here's how you do everything in this program, because that's just not how these things work. Everything is like, you have to be like, okay, I want to make this box move here. So you have to Google like how to make box move in After Effects, or how to make things move in After Effects. And then once you learn that, you can apply it to anything. Now you can make a circle moving process. And once you've done that, like for a year or two, you know how to do a bunch of stuff. Once you've done that and you know how to make things move and you know your programs, if you want to learn animation, you need to get this book. Oh God, no, it's mirrored. Is it mirrored? Can you read this? I can't. Does it make sense now? It's called the Animator's Survival Guide.
Yeah,
it explains.
Other way around, but it's fine.
It explains everything about animation, how to make things interesting, how to make things move well, how to like exaggerate movements and do all this kind of stuff. And once you know everything in this book, or once you've read it, even barely, once you've read even the first few chapters, you'll know how to make animations that look nice to look at. But yeah. And yeah, once you do, animation is like a very simple process. It's like, it's really time consuming, but the actual process of animation is very simple. You just want to make things look nice when they move. And there's like these 7 or 8 principles that you add that make things more believable when they move. Like when a hand moves, it doesn't just do this. It kind of signals it's about to move, and then it goes forward a little bit, and then it comes back, you know. And once you know how to do those things, everything looks nice. If you watch our videos, especially the recent ones, maybe let's say from Tamil onward, you'll notice that like whenever anything moves on the screen, I do give it like a bit of like a anticipation, and then follow through, and then like it settles in place like this, you know? And that just adds like a playfulness to everything. Someone says, please collab with the Armchair Historian. I don't really do collabs just because like they're very messy and difficult to like plan, and we need to rely on one person to finish the work on time, and then you have pressure to like, I can barely meet the deadlines I already have. Bringing extra people in, doing collabs is too difficult. Okay, what's next? Can you make a video on Bengal Punch? Yeah, like I said this earlier, every ethnic group is getting their video. Ethnic groups in India are definitely going to get videos, so don't worry about that. All topics will be covered eventually. That's just how it is. I want to make all the videos. We need time, and we need extra people to help, and it's difficult to find people to help. Okay. What is your favorite topic to read about? Historical things. Right now, I'm reading a book on secret religions. Another book I recently finished was about bureaucracy. I know it sounds boring, but it's by this guy called David Graeber. He writes about like how bureaucracy, like what the origin is of it, and this kind of thing. It's interesting. Oh, I'm also reading this really cool book. I forget the name of it because it's on my tablet, and I haven't actually looked at the first page. I was just like, oh, this sounds like a good description. Got it. Boom. It's about all like the axial age. If you know what the axial age is, if you don't know what it is, the axial age is this kind of time period in like the 5th century BCE, like the 5th century, like negative 500s. I think it's like when Socrates and when the Buddha and when Confucius and when Lao Tzu are doing all of their philosophizing stuff. It all happens all across Eurasia at roughly the same time. It's like one of these weird historical moments where you're like, okay, why are people having thoughts all of a sudden, all at the same time, thousands of kilometers apart? And this book kind of tries to explain it. It's like this one guy's theory. It's really well written. Like it's really well explained, and like the argument, like for me, makes sense. I'm not like, I need to do more research to know if it's like 100% true and if it's like really well based. But I'm gonna explain it anyway. And the way he explains it, he's like, so Zoroaster, who's the guy who kind of makes Zoroastrianism, he is in Persia, which is like Iran. And Iran, like we actually said earlier, is like this kind of crossroads of Eurasia. Anything from India and China, or anywhere in Asia really, that wants to go to like the Middle East, Africa and Europe, kind of has to go through Iran, or around it the long way in Central Asia. But most of it went through Iran because they were a huge civilization connected to the Silk Road. So Zoroaster, if you know anything about Zoroastrianism, it's actually very similar to Hinduism. It's almost like it's like a cousin religion to Hinduism. Like the language they're written in originally is very similar. The gods in Hinduism are called devas. No, I think they're called devas. And then the demons in Zoroastrianism are called devas, or something like that. As in, like, they're related religions. They both come from the Rig Veda, and they're both related to it. And he explains that the possibility is that Zoroaster reforms this kind of early Hinduism, spreads it to the Middle East and Europe, and he also takes a lot of these ideas from China, and like, he acts as like this kind of like highway between all these ideas. And so he brings ideas from east to west and west to east, and that's where you get this huge explosion of philosophy and all these cool ideas that kind of sound similar. Like if you look at like a lot of ideas happening in the Middle East with monotheism, it does sound a lot like Zoroastrianism, and Zoroastrianism is some sort of reaction to Hinduism and other ideas happening in East Asia. So it's super cool. It's a really cool book. I haven't finished it. Maybe it's not true. I don't know. I probably should have checked. But it's a cool argument. Something to keep in mind. Something to do further research on. I thought it was really fun. Someone said, what's your favorite pyramid? I like the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon in Teotihuacan. Mostly just because I've seen them in person and I went to the top of them, and they're big and impressive and super cool. Okay. Someone says, there are many variations of history. How do you identify which one is the more truer version? In India, we have a debate about Marxist historians hiding many facts. Okay. There's like there is like no like true history because you don't have all the facts. It can be interpreted in any way. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're an archaeologist and you find, let's say, a weird shaped figurine, how are you supposed to know if that's like a toy? How are you supposed to know if it's maybe a recreation of a god? You have to like you put your own context on it, and you try and get context from other things and from written sources and from oral sources. But it's like we can only really make assumptions based on available evidence and based on our interpretations of that evidence. So there is no like you're never going to know exactly what happened, and everything is going to be interpretation. And I'm not sure what the debate is with Marxist historians. Marxist historians tend to be very material based. They're based on like, okay, what are the material conditions people lived in? I'm not sure why. I don't know. That sounds like a political debate that's happening in India that I don't want to get involved in. But yeah, there is no true history. There's only our interpretations of what we can see and what we can think of. You're never going to know the full story. So that's why things change in history all the time. It actually annoys people. People are like, oh, we used to get taught this in school and now we get taught this. I'm like, yeah, because the information changed. We used to think the Maya were like peaceful astronomers who only cared about what was happening in the stars, and they had tiny cities, not even cities, they only lived in villages and blah, blah. And then we realized, no, they have these massive cities and they had lots of warfare in between the cities, and we only could figure that out once we discovered like a bunch of murals of people killing each other. Until you discover that, and until you can learn how to interpret that, you're only guessing at stuff. But yeah, never fall for the thing of like, oh, this is the true history, because everything is just an interpretation. You need to like learn that person's argument, find out what they're basing the argument on, and find out whether or not their argument makes any sense.
Somebody asked, what's better, tea or coffee?
Ooh. They're very different. I find coffee and tea to be very, like for me, I have a coffee every morning. I love my coffee. I have an espresso machine. I make a good espresso. I can make the milk, and I have like one coffee, maybe two a day. They're kind of heavy, but they give you energy and they're delicious. And for me, coffee is like a dessert almost. I don't add sugar or anything, but like it's a dessert. It's like one of those like little treats. Whereas tea is almost like water. I would drink like 10 teas a day. I like tea. It's delicious, but it's never like, ooh, a treat, you know? I think they serve very different purposes. But yeah, I consume ridiculous amounts of both of them.
Favorite football club? Someone's asked.
I don't watch football. The one with the stripes. Newcastle United. Someone said the Maya script is a cool topic. Yeah, Maya writing in general is fascinating. Not only is like the concept of Maya writing fascinating, because like writing is like has been invented in like 5 places essentially. There's no writing systems essentially from Europe. There's like 2 or 3 from Africa, Egypt, and then I think there's a sub-Saharan African one. There's also an Ethiopian one, China, and then India. I think also has one. I'm not sure if it was invented there. Or it doesn't matter. It's rarely invented. Writing is rarely invented, and the Maya invented, which is super interesting. I'm not sure if the Maya invented or the Olmecs. This is what history does. Every single thing is just like, maybe, but it's just fascinating and it looks cool. And unlike hieroglyphs, which are like a symbol equals a word, Maya is like some symbols equal words, some symbols are syllables, so you can read it and know what the like sounds to make. So it's fascinating. The Spanish burned all of the Maya books, so that's bad and sad. And I wish we had all those, because we could have read cool Maya stories and Maya history. Yeah. But yeah, Maya writing is also cool. It's also the fact that we know how to read it is fascinating. And it took a lot of work to decode Maya writing, and like a lot of these kind of like Soviet linguists like did a lot of work to try and make this work, and then like Americans came in and they also did a lot of work. It was like a really fascinating project to decode Maya writing. We should make a video on that. That is a really good idea. Yeah. Someone say, what are my views on Sanskrit? It's cool language, old. Wish I knew how to read it. That would be a good time. It would make doing research in India easier. But I don't really have any opinions on it. It's yeah. Someone said, who invented mate? So if you don't know,
Controversial.
that's controversial. That's a hot take. Mate, if you don't know, is this kind of, it's like a tea from South America made from.
It's not tea.
I'm trying, like, it's similar to tea. It's a caffeinated leaf that you put in next to boiling water and you drink, but you drink it from the special thing called a bombisha, which is like a gourd that you hollow out. You put in the mate, you put in a straw, and then you pour water over the leaves and you drink it. It's tasty, full of caffeine. It keeps you awake. The herb is called sherba. The scientific name of the herb is like Sherbas paraguayas. So I'm gonna say it was invented in Paraguay, not by actual Paraguay today, the country, but like indigenous people that would have been living in the Paraguayan region, which would have been the Guarani people. So indigenous South Americans in the Paraguay region probably invented mate. That's true facts.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, someone said the Ethiopian script is called Geese. Yeah, super cool. Ethiopia in general, people should learn more about it. Ethiopia is crazy. There's just so much. Ethiopia's just been around forever, and they've just been doing their own thing, and they've been like Christian for like 2,000 years, one of the first countries to convert. They have their own writing system. They have these cool obelisks. They have, oh my god, Google on your device, Ethiopian stone-cut churches. It is mental. Actually mental. Instead of just building churches out of materials, the Ethiopians were like, "Do you know what? We have loads of time in our hands. There's no internet yet. No one's invented TikTok. What if we just carved the church out of the ground? They just carved it into the ground. It's just insane." Like Google it, Google it, or Yahoo it if you're one of those people.
Bing it.
Yeah, Bing it. Someone says, "Do you know something about Zen Buddhism?" I know a little bit about Zen Buddhism. I know more about. This is what I was talking about, where like I'm saying my knowledge of most things is like surface level. I know broadly about a lot of things, but like about like kind of deep in, no. So I know a little bit about Zen Buddhism. It's really cool. I like Zen Buddhism. I like a lot of the little phrases they have and how they view life. Interesting. But I don't know like a huge amount about it. I would like to make a video though on like that kind of thing, like sects of certain religions. So like Zen Buddhism, Mahayana is kind of too big, but like versions of Mahayana, Tibetan Buddhism. Then I would like to do Orthodox Christianity, like those kinds of things, because broadly religions, when you describe it just as like a completely broad thing, you do miss out on a lot of like what the smaller groups within that religion believe. And Zen Buddhism is like this really cool thing because it mixes together Buddhism and then the Chinese influences on Buddhism and then like indigenous Japanese concepts.
There's a great question here.
Yeah?
If you could give any historical figure a wedgie, who would it be?
Ooh, okay. Everyone's going to say Hitler here, but like, that's too, I don't want to give Hitler a wedgie, He's evil. He's a bad person. Giving him a wedgie is like too easy. So I want to find someone who's like actually like really annoying. And not like a psychopath. I was thinking Cortez just because like, but he's also a psychopath. Do you know what I'm going to give a wedgie to? Winston Churchill. Again, psychopath. But I feel like giving him a wedgie, like he's a very like egoistic, very like, "Oh, I'm very masculine and I'm going to kill all the people who aren't British." Guy, I want to give him a wedgie. He seems like a bit of a little shit. And I feel like giving him a wedgie would, one, make me really happy, and also I could take a picture of it, and then I would become famous in Ireland as the person that gave Winston Churchill a wedgie. Oliver Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell also gets a wedgie. I get to wedgie 2 people. This is the new rule. Oliver Cromwell also gets wedgied. But like an atomic wedgie. Like a galactic wedgie of epic proportions. Completely ruptures him.
Like one of the ones from Jackass where they...
Yeah, like one of the ones from Jackass where it's like a bungee jump wedgie. Great question. Thank you for that. Someone says, "Do you know anything about Pakistani history?" Not as much as I would like. I know about, well, the Indus Valley civilization. It has like a large chunk of that is in Pakistan. I know a little bit about like the Mughal Empire, but again, that's across borders, so I don't know anything super specific about Pakistan, unfortunately. But again, we're going to make a video probably at some point on Pakistan, so I'll learn about it then. My views on Brexit: it's dumb. It was silly, and I just what a ridiculous thing to do. Also, for me, I'm like, what a ridiculous thing to do when part one of the countries in your kingdom is on an island that's going to remain in the European Union. Should have been a topic of discussion, maybe even brought up just one time. Would have been fun to see, but they didn't, because people who live outside of Northern Ireland don't think about it at all, which is messed up. But they did what they did, and it was stupid. Someone says, do you have a plan for a video on Sufi Islam? We do. We have a plan for Sufi Islam because Sufis are really cool. They have this very cool interpretation of Islam, and this very mystical sense of the universe and like connecting with God in this interesting way, and they spin around sometimes. So yeah, we do want to do Sufi. The Sufis are interesting. Sufis are also like have this huge influence on Pakistan, and also on Five Rivers place, the Punjab. They have this huge influence on the Punjab region, and this huge influence on Sikhism, which will be born in the Punjab. And that this like very Sufi concept of like a mystical connection, a mystical personal connection with God, really influences Sikhism. And they also come up with this concept that is in Sikhism. It's the not restaurants, because they're not a restaurant. The food halls, these kind of like places where you can go in Sikhism, or anyone can go, and Sikhs run these kitchens, and anyone can go and eat in these kitchens. They give away free food to everyone. That actually has a basis in Sufi Islam. They also came up with these kinds of like traveler lodges anywhere in Iran, and you could go in and they would just feed you, because they saw that as like anyone should be able to eat, food should be available. Langar is the Langar is the name of the food halls in Sikhism. Yeah, I mean Langar. That is the name of the food hall in Sikhism, and that does have a basis in Sufi Islam, because they also did a very similar thing where anyone could go in and eat this vegetarian food. Sufis are very much like that. They're very like peaceful and very mystical, and very like everyone is connected. It's a really cool branch of Islam, and they also had a massive influence. Like they came out of Islam, and then also had a huge influence on Islam and how it grew.
I was going to say, somebody asked, if you could go back in time and change one thing in history, what would it be?
If you go back in time and change one thing in history, what would it be? For me personally, and for probably the Maya, I would like if the Spanish didn't burn all the Maya books. Just because when I think about it, I'm like, oh, how many cool concepts do we have today because of like Greek philosophy? You know, 2,000 years ago, all these guys with beards were having talks with each other, and they came up with all these cool concepts. And we only know about that because they were written down in books that we can read now. And I'm like, how many interesting concepts did the Maya and other like Central American cultures come up with? Like, what were their philosophy? Like, we understand a lot of Aztec philosophy because a lot of their books didn't get burned, and because their culture continued very strongly, and we can still speak Nahuatl, and people still speak Nahuatl, although people still speak Maya actually as well. But like, off topic. But we know a lot about Aztec philosophy and everything, and we know a good amount about Maya philosophy. But when it comes to like the actual people, like what they were thinking about the world and what they kind of taught and what they saw in the universe and their philosophical concepts, we don't have a lot, because if it was written down, we don't have it anymore because it was burned. So I would go back and stop that from happening. Other thing that I want to stop, I would maybe go to Australia when it was founded and be like, the Aboriginals, be nice to them, because they're cool and we should know more about their culture as well. In general, I would just like to go to places when people are about to murder a bunch of people and be like, don't do that. No. What if we were friends with them? I use this example all the time when I yell things at people about history. Think of how cool Japan is. Okay, why do people who aren't Japanese love Japan so much? Why are there weeaboos? And the reason there's weeaboos is because Japan has this super cool, almost isolated, almost perfect continuated culture, you know? Japan has this really long line of culture that is theirs, and they've got to express it, and it really hasn't been messed with too much. You know, they've got to maintain it. And the reason they got to maintain it is because like they never really got colonized, and because when when like Europeans showed up, they just traded with Japan. You know? And Japan was like, cool, I have Pokemon cards, you have gold, we can trade these things, and everyone's gonna be happy, and you're Dutch, and you're tall, and that's amazing, and here's some stuff, and you go back to wherever you're from, and we all get richer. And that made Japan rich, it made Europe rich, everyone got richer from that. It was more beneficial than going to Japan, killing everyone, and then like mining some stuff in Japan and like bringing it back. It's like you get really rich like immediately with that strategy, but over a long period of time you get richer when you don't murder everyone and you just trade. And that way you also get a culture out of it, and everyone gets to be happy. And I just really wish people went to Australia and they went to the Americas and they brought, and that Maya and the Aztecs, and they were like, that's a lot of gold. Would you like horses for that? And they'd be like, yeah, we do. Here's some gold, and you give me a horse. And then they build a relationship, and all of a sudden everyone's richer now. The Aztecs have like super rich. Europe gets rich from chocolate and coffee. Not coffee, that's not from Mexico. Vanilla. And it literally just makes everyone gets richer when you trade. It's like this global historical truth. Trade makes you richer. Conquest makes like 4 guys richer for like 45 years. You know? You can see it because it's like countries that traded more, like Portugal and the Netherlands, tended to stay richer longer than the ones that just conquered places like Spain. Spain got super rich for like 100 years and then it just vanished. You know, be more like not murder. Okay.
Do you want to watch the Paris video maybe?
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So I think what we can do now, if you want to, we can watch some of our first videos, and I will do like a live reaction to it. Someone said you did history jump. Why? I don't know. What did I do a history jump? What's a history jump?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we can watch one of our earliest videos, and I will react to it. Because one, that's how a lot of people found this channel. A lot of people found this channel by watching people react to my videos. So let's finish that cycle, and I will react to my own videos. Or I will react to someone else's reaction. No, that's too much. That's too meta. Yeah. Okay.
Which one? The Soldier Bear? The first one?
Let us see. Okay. I'm gonna go into a tab here. And just like see what videos.
Oh my god, they're so short. The first ones.
Yeah, they were so easy to
They're all
animate.
under 10 minutes. The first one is a minute.
Audio wise as well,
seconds.
they're awful. So let's see how this turns out. Okay. How do I change this over? Okay. I'm gonna need headphones so I can hear this terrible audio. Maybe I'll let people vote in the chat.
On what video to
On
watch?
what video to watch. We'll do one of the earliest ones. No? Okay, let me transition over. Just make sure it's on the correct window. Hopefully this doesn't like blast people's ears either.
I guess I'll let you know.
Audio input, microphone. Audio output, we want it to be the speakers. Okay. I'm just gonna test it by playing like a video before transferring it over. Oh, I got an ad. Okay. It's not playing the audio. What I will do is I will put it on. We'll have the vote, and that way people can be voting while I'm figuring out how to make the audio work. So I'm going to put it on the screen now. Video. Transfer over. Transition. So on the screen now, you can see like here's our earliest videos. So, no, not that one. Oh, that's my email. Oh god.
Okay, we can see them.
You can see them?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, I'm thinking like maybe like the first 3 rows. Or first 2 rows.
First 2.
The first 2 rows, okay? So, let's just spam the chat with whatever.
No, never spam the chat.
Like, kindly, politely spam the chat with what video on the first 2 rows of like, oh my god, 4 years ago. I've been doing this for so long. But yeah, first 2 rows, what video would you like me to like react to? I think I will probably just cringe throughout the whole thing. So keep that in mind.
Maybe zoom it in so people can see the first 2 rows better.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna figure out why the audio isn't working. Oh, now it's working. Okay. I'll lower it a little bit just in case. Who's winning at the minute?
Well, there's only been
One.
one vote for Norse, so now one for Did Cooking Make Us Smart? I don't even
Chocolate.
remember that video.
Yeah, I barely remember it. Okay, do you know what? Someone says we should go with the first one, and yeah, I do think we should go with the first one as well, just because it's a really weird video.
The soldier bear.
The soldier bear. It's open soldier.
It's also essentially a short.
Yeah. No. Wrong one. This one. Okay. So. I'm going to play it a little bit. And people can tell me what they think of the audio. Quality. That is like volume. It's not playing actually, is it? Oh, what an opening image.
Yeah, it is playing. Kind of
Yeah?
low, I think.
Kind of low?
Oh god.
What?
This is the ancient Cogito.
Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna put these on. We can react to this hot mess of a video. Okay, let's do this. That's so loud. I missed this intro. Oh, the audio quality. Ah, not an ad.
I don't think I can hear it.
No? You can't hear it?
No, you can't hear it.
Practically silent. Okay. Let's see if I can boost that. Can you hear it now?
I don't know, I need to wait until like you're playing it. It's still
Wojciech,
really
the
low.
Polish soldier bear. Wojciech was born in
How
Iran
about
in
now?
1942. As in most good origin stories, his parents were killed when he was young. He was then kept
Why am I
under
so bad
attack
at
by a
this?
boy who sold him to a woman who then brought him to a
I can
Polish
hear it.
refugee
If you
camp
can
near
put
Tehran.
a bit louder, better.
Okay, a bit louder. Let's do this. How do I make it louder? Nope. Let's boost it by like 3 decibels. Is that a lot? Who knows?
See now, we all get deafened.
Okay.
So you're a Nazi soldier in 1944. Allied artillery is falling all around as they slowly push in closer and closer. After the barrage stops, you manage to take a
Okay.
peek out of your trench and survey the scene.
The fact that the
Throughout dust
Cogitos
and
look so
debris,
different
you see
is
a
crazy
massive
to me.
400-kilo bear storming across the battlefield,
voice
carrying
sounds
artillery
like
shells.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Well,
the
the
battlefield.
microphone this is recording
Maybe
on
it's
is
a
terrible.
concussion from all that shelling. Or maybe it's all that methamphetamine your general has been giving you. Or maybe, just maybe, you've seen Wojciech, the Polish soldier bear.
That
Wojciech
doesn't
was
even
born in
look like
Iran
a
in 1942.
No.
As in most good origin stories, his parents were killed when he was young. He was then kept in a little sack by a boy who sold him to
The
a woman
animation's so
who
rough.
then brought him to a Polish refugee camp near Tehran. He lived in that camp for 3 months. The soldiers of the Polish Second Corps then adopted him and named him Wojciech, which is Old Slavic for joyful warrior. The soldiers fed him milk from a vodka bottle, and as he grew, he developed a taste for beer, and it became his favourite drink. In order to fit in with all of his new friends, Wojciech took up smoking, as the bear community was unaware of the negative health effects at the time. The Poles had to go fight in the Italian campaign.
Yeah,
there were strict rules against bringing animals into battle. Unable to bring their friend, they did the only logical thing they could think of. They enlisted Wojciech in the army. Private Wojciech was given a paybook and a serial number like all the other soldiers. He took part in the Battle of Monte Cassino, where he saw his fellow soldiers carrying ammunition. Wojciech followed their lead and carried artillery shells back and forth throughout the battle. After the battle, the emblem of the corps was changed to look like Wojciech carrying artillery to honour his contribution. After the war, Corporal Wojciech was donated to the Edinburgh Zoo as his comrades were split up and sent on destination.
Yeah, that and like random Google images
friends,
probably
and they would light
have
cigarettes for him whenever they were there.
Well, don't say that now.
Who's gonna come after me? Like that actually was better than I thought it was gonna be. I think actually because there was no animation, it didn't come off as rough as I thought it was gonna come off. The fact that the Cogitos look so different is crazy. I don't remember making this character. I should not pause it on the one that has the Nazi helmet. Oh, they only have Nazis. The original Cogito only came in Nazi form, apparently. They changed so much. I don't want to have the thing on screen because it'll demonetize the whole stream. But I can't believe they changed so much. They went from being these kind of like weird Apple versions of Cogitos, these like little white robots, to being like these little fat characters. Also, there was no animation. There's no animation at all for like the first few videos because I didn't know how to animate and I didn't have the software. Like that video, I remember making it. I had this cheap Lenovo laptop that was like €150, and it didn't come with Windows, and so it had like Linux on it. And Linux has no editing softwares that are good, and so I made it in this really bad free Linux software that you could barely do anything on. Okay, let's watch the second one.
We got a super chat.
Ooh, we got a super chat. Let's see. So from Steve Ditko, who donated 40 rupees, I think that is. Thank you so much. Love your videos, man. Love from India. Thank you so much. Love to India. Love to India.
And again, it's going to the World Central
Yeah.
Kitchen.
So all of the super chats are being donated. Oh, I went offline. All of the super chats are being donated to the World Central Kitchen, who are feeding Ukrainian refugees on the Polish border. So that's the end of that sentence. Okay, let us go and watch the... Okay, do we do Why Are Diamonds So Expensive, or do we do the much more popular Why Are China and India So Populated? Okay, let me open the chat. Yeah, the intro music for that video was so good. This is going to sound really stupid. The reason the intro music changed from that to the current intro music is because I changed computers, which means I lost the file that sound was, and I don't remember what the name of the song was, even though I think it's objectively better than the current music. Okay, China and India, that's good. I hoped people were going to go for China and India, because China and India, I remember this video being terrible. Oh, an ad. Cool.
Lekker. De beefstaalburger van
Because I'm
Valles.
incognito.
Verkozen tot beste product van het jaar.
Dutch ads. Oh my god, really? Another
Every
ad?
vote counts.
Is this what
As an
people do?
expat, you can vote and help us shape the future of your city.
This area can.
Okay. Anyway, I complained about ads on my own channel. So let's watch this. I'm gonna open the chat so I can see people's reactions and stuff. Hey, let's do this. Oh, I remember why this video had a lot of negative comments, and I'm ready for it now.
This area contains 36% of the world's population, a total of 2.6 billion people, but these are only two countries and only make up 8.2% of the land on Earth. Two out of
This
every
is what I
five people
mean
alive
by
today
like
are living in
these
one of
videos had no animation. If you look at it, the way I made this video was by making a bunch of different slides. I can hear myself. A bunch of different slides on Google Slides. So I had like one image was map. The next slide would be like this. They can't see me pointing. Like the Indian woman there, she'd be really tiny, and the next slide would be her like a little bit bigger, and the next slide would be her like a little bit bigger, And so I just pushed the next slide button really quickly, and that's what made these animations. Like, and then I just assembled them in an editing software. That's why they look so strange. Oh, I have subtitles on.
Of these countries. How did China and India end up with so many people?
I kept the old Cogito for ages.
First, we'll take a look at their geographic location. For a society to maintain large populations, they need access to water, good soil, and comfortable climate. If you take a look at the world's major rivers, you can see that 10 are in a freezing environment, 5 are in a rainforest environment, which is not great for agriculture, and 4 were isolated from humanity, leaving 7 rivers that would allow for major civilizations to develop.
I don't think this argument is like this whole, oh, these regions aren't good for agriculture. I wouldn't make it today. One, because the Andes are right there, not a good place for agriculture, and yet they had massive civilizations there. So I wouldn't make this today, and I also don't believe geography doesn't have that much of an influence as much as I did back when I made this video. But yeah.
7 rivers that would allow for major civilizations to develop. 4 of these are in India and China. It is around these 7 rivers that the first civilizations start to spring up. India has the Gangetic Plain, a 255 million hectare area that is one of the most fertile places on earth. The Indus Valley is also an excellent agricultural zone that acted as
this
a
is true.
cradle for one of the world's
India
first
is
major
overpowered when it comes to
China
like
has a
one, available crops. China is overpowered because they get rice, and rice is by far the best grain, best crop in general you can have. You can make it twice a year. It's super calorically dense, has a lot of nutrients. The only thing that competes with it is potatoes. On like wheat. Wheat's terrible, awful. Sorghum, come on, no one wants sorghum. Millet, not good. It's too sensitive. Potatoes and rice. And China gets rice, which makes China's population explode. India gets rice and wheat. You know, they get, because they're in the middle of like where wheat grows in the Middle East and where rice grows in China. And so they get this, not only like these two powerful crops, they get like enormous rivers because of the Himalayas that they can grow huge amounts of these crops on. So it's just, yeah. Again, I wish I had said that better in this video.
Swan Basin, fed by the Yangtze River, the 3rd largest on Earth, and the North China Plains, fed by the Yellow River, the 6th largest on Earth. Both of these areas are able to produce abundant amount of food for the Chinese. Today they have some of the world's highest population density. These plains provided both civilizations with water and silt for agriculture, as well as rivers and trade for commerce. China alone has 50,000 rivers that are usable.
I'm not sure what I'm even doing. It's water coming out. This is a good joke. I like this.
Rivers that are usable for agriculture. Compared to other early
civilizations. This setup right here will take me maybe 5 minutes to put together. Actually, less than 5 minutes to put together. And I remember making this. I remember being super proud of this scene. I'm like, oh my god, like it looks like it's on a rock. Now it looks awful. It looks like rubbish. But at the time, I remember being super proud of this.
China and India have a massive advantage. Egypt, outside of the Nile, was too dry and hot. Civilizations in Iraq suffered the same.
Also, like, the argument here is also just insane. Like, I'm oversimplifying to a ridiculous amount where I'm like, obviously Egypt isn't too hot to host massive civilizations and huge populations, because Egypt has huge civilizations and a massive population. So that was a bit of an oversight. I didn't research nearly as deeply with these ones as I did with other ones.
Iran, being another ancient state, did not have access to a major river and so couldn't grow at the same rate. And unlike Egypt, China and India can rely on more than one river. The Mississippi River civilization was unfortunately isolated from most of humanity and arrived at a much later date than both the Chinese and the Indians. The whole genocide thing didn't help the Native American numbers either. Most of the world is not suited for dense settlement. Africa, Arabia, the Amazons, most of Canada, Alaska, Central Africa, Siberia and the Sahara Desert are all harsh to human life.
The music is so loud.
Yeah, actually,
the music is so loud.
It is very loud.
It's like the same volume as the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the nope on Central America also has a massive population for such a small area.
I just wrote nope
I just wrote, yeah.
While Mexico, Central Asia and Australia do not have enough inland water to support large-scale agriculture.
I always
China
find
and India
it
are also located between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, which when you look at a map seems to be the best area for human settlement. 20% of the world's arable land is within the borders of China and India. They are in the top 4 countries by arable land available.
So much text
the US has a huge amount of land, but unfortunately disease and conquest destroyed its native population. It is still the 3rd most populous nation in spite of that, and most of Russia's land is too cold to support agriculture, leaving China and India as the countries with the best agricultural lands. India is 50% arable land compared to...
if you're noticing like the enormous error on the map of like the 7 sister states of India being cut off, I didn't notice when I was making it. This is made essentially in a paint type program where I just clicked like the paint bucket on India, and because the pixel between the borders is like so tight, the paint bucket didn't go over to the other like the states there, and so it never got colored in. I didn't notice. Everyone else did when the video went up. I am sorry, that was a huge mistake.
Countries like Australia, Brazil and Russia, which are all below 10%. Because of this, India and China produce 50% of the world's rice and 30% of the world's wheat. Both of these regions were gifted with rice as a staple crop. If you want to sustain massive population growth,
again, I was so
rice
proud
is
of
the
this
crop
particular
you choose
scene.
to
That
do
makes
it.
no
It has
sense.
more calories than any other crop field of the same size. Even today, it accounts for
The
1/5 of the world's
Stargate,
calories.
like it's a Stargate. I thought everyone was going to be like, whoa, it's a cool Stargate reference, as if even 4 years ago Stargate was a relevant reference. Oh, I'm probably real that I can't hear myself. Like, causes pigeon death, that is true about rice. Like, these are all true facts they have strewn about the screen here, but it's just, it's so messy looking. But I remember being really, I thought I was the world's best animator when I made this.
Calories. Rice is also labour intensive and requires large families to harvest, which encourages people to have more and more children. Areas of the world that
Someone
produce
said, yeah,
rice
Pakistan should
have
also
the
be covered
highest
because, like,
population
it
density.
shares a lot of the
Europe,
same
by
rivers,
contrast,
like,
did
the
not have a
Punjab is
staple
right
crop
there.
as good as rice until the potato arrived from the Americas in the 1500s. After that crop arrived, the population in Europe soared. Well, until
Yeah.
China and India also have excellent natural defences that help them defend from outside invasions and reduce warfare in the region. The Himalayas protect India from the north, the Thar Desert and the Indus River in the west, and jungles to the east. Any enemy coming in from the south would have to do so by ship. China has Siberia to the north, the Gobi Desert to the west, and the Tibetan Plateau to the south, and the Pacific guards its east. These natural borders
This is such a bad point. Again, I wouldn't make this argument today, because if I had to think of like famous things that happened to India and China, it's being invaded from Central Asia, you know. Yeah, like the Himalayas protect India, but they only protect it from China. The Mughals and like Huns, all these, not Huns, the White Huns, is it the White Huns? No, I think it was someone else. India gets invaded a lot from like around Afghanistan and in. Like, both of them get completely wrecked by colonial powers who come from the sea. They're not protected countries. Like, one of their main things is that like they have these very open areas that you can just pour into. So this is a really bad argument. Whoever made this video was trash.
may not have stopped all invasions from outsiders, but they did make it difficult. Finally, they have access to the Middle East and Europe. This allowed for trade like the Silk Road to bring in wealth and the exchange of ideas that civilizations in Oceania, Americas and Sub-Saharan Africa would have missed out on. China and India were both some of the first agricultural societies. They had a massive head start. They began to farm around 8 to 9,000 BC, and populations grew fast due to favourable conditions.
That is
the
true.
Indus
One
Valley
of the reasons
civilization in
China
India
and
grew
India are
rich off
huge
trade
is
with
because they've
Mesopotamia,
been
and the
having
population boomed due
populations
to
for
abundant
longer,
resources. China
which
was
puts you
constructing
ahead.
massive irrigation projects and canals to increase crop yields, while most of the world still relied on rainwater to hydrate their crops. Both China and India are prone to flooding, and to combat this, large-scale hydraulic projects were necessary. The organisation needed to pull off these massive projects to strengthen cultural ties between the countries. Both of these
The
nations...
Cogito's dead eyes, dead, uncentered eyes, disturb me so much. They just stare vacantly into your soul.
under a single ruler early on, India by Ashoka in 250 BC and China later on in 200 BC by the Qin dynasty. This unity helped form the massive countries they are today, rather than the many smaller states that we would see in Europe.
Again, more map problems. For some reason, I coloured in all of Europe except for the very, very top of Norway and Finland, which just gets dropped off. And also, all of the Peloponnese in Greece is also apparently not in Europe anymore. They have been kicked out.
Populations of India and China continued to grow while Europe was set back by plagues. The plague of Justinian killed 50%
I
of the
sound so different
population.
in this. I don't recognise the sound of my own voice in this
Yeah,
video.
you sound really strange.
I think I'm really trying to put on like YouTuber voice.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to sound like someone else.
Your
I think.
voice is much lower, so
Yeah.
I think you're trying to speak like calmly,
I think so. Yeah,
which you never fully can.
it's true. Just want to yell.
In the 6th century AD, and again the 14th century, the Black Death killed up to 50 million of Europe's suspected 80 million population. The Mongols as well wiped out 90% of the Iranian population and ravaged the rest of the Middle East and Asia. Both affected China, but it managed to recover faster while India escaped the wrath of the Khans. Unfortunately for the Native Americans, European conquest and disease would wipe out 90% of them. By the 17th century, the population of China was 150 million and India 100 million. For most of
I like how it's not
proportional at all. Yeah,
proportional.
no. I don't understand. Even if you look at the graphs in the videos, I'm not a graphologist. I didn't go to school for graphs. Like, I don't know what graphs are. I just do my best to like make the data look nice. Like, yeah, the graphs are correct, but like they're a mess. I'm still not good at them. But this isn't PragerU type graph.
history, both of these nations have made up 60% of the world's population. India was the largest economy in the world in the ancient and Middle
Loving this Indian guy character. I don't know what's going on with his hair. But I also love how the Cogitos used to have little fat folds in the belly. I think I thought, like, I was like, oh, this is going to be really cute. He's going to look like a little plushy doll. The arms as well are also disturbing.
They have no neck.
They have no neck, yeah.
Actually.
They're just very, like... They look like the guy from... If you've seen, like, 90 Day Fiancé, like the guy who marries the Filipino girl. It's just very... It's...
periods, containing up to a third of the world's wealth. The Industrial Revolution took hold in Europe first, and their populations soared. Between 1700 and 1900, Europe's populations grew from 100 million to 400 million.
I also like how in this scene...
Between 1700 and 1900, Europe's...
I have factories everywhere in Europe except for England. I was just like, no, they don't get a factory. They know what they did.
The pettiness.
Yeah, everyone gets a factory except for England. Ireland gets a factory.
Populations grew from 100 million to 400 million. Medicine increased lifespan and decreased
I do
child
like the
deaths.
little propeller hat. That is funny.
Increased from 10 million
And
to
the
40
monocle.
million
Monocle
in the
guy
19th
still
century.
appears, actually.
The United
He's been
States
updated several
population grew
times.
from around 5.3 million in 1800 to 106 million in 1920. After modernization, birth rates fell and their population stabilized.
So much text.
The populations
I
in
used to
Asia
put so
continued
much
to grow
text
as they
on the
industrialized
chat,
later.
on the
When they
chat,
finally did
on the
begin to
screen.
industrialize, the populations in the already fertile regions
That's
began to
incredible. I love
skyrocket.
that.
China's population rose from approximately 430 million in 1850 to 580 million in 1953, and now it stands at over 1.3 billion. The population of the Indian subcontinent, which was around 125 million in
This
1750,
is the worst
increased
one. Like, I essentially cut off like hundreds of millions of Indians. They're just not on this map anymore. I just deleted them because of the stupid paint program. Everyone shamed me. Shame.
No.
Shame.
to 389 million in 1941. Today, India,
Someone said they
Pakistan,
look like
and
ginger-
Bangladesh
they do
are
look
home
like
to
gingerbread
1.6 billion people. During the 20th century, the Chinese leader Mao encouraged his people to have as many children as possible. This led to massive population.
This actually is real footage. This is what Mao did. You would be asleep in your room and he would just pop out and scream, have babies at you, and then run away.
Grow up until 1978, when after Mao had died, the Chinese...
Look at the curtains. The curtains have the line of the window going through them.
Oh my god, yeah. I would
Oh,
have never noticed that.
such a mess.
implemented the one-child policy. Indian culture has always included large families, and this tradition continued into the modern day. And after a forced sterilization campaign in the 1970s, some Indians are suspicious of families. The nation, though, do have birth rates on par with European nations now. Today,
Yeah,
both China
you can
and
never
India have
generalize anything.
populations
Oh my
higher
God.
than every
You're
other
bald.
continent.
I'm bald. I
apart from
forgot I was
Ireland.
bald.
So that's it. The strategic
And have extremely pointy sleeves.
And wearing a tie.
And wearing a tie?
Which you never do.
I've never worn a tie before in my entire life.
Well, you've had.
Never.
A couple.
Not once. This is haunting. Genuinely haunting. I
I
also
don't know
love...
why you were bald.
I love how aspirational I was. I gave myself a desk and a keyboard and a computer screen, while at the time I did not have a desk or a computer or keyboard. I was doing it all on like a crappy laptop. But I was putting that out into the universe that somehow I will get.
I like
Yeah.
that your sleeves also have like a weird. They're like a weird triangle.
Yeah, they're
for
like
some
pointy.
reason.
I'm not sure. I don't think I understood how to use like the curves in the program yet and how to make things. Although everyone's round, I don't know. Maybe it was just a good look.
location
Yeah,
of
the
China
cup of
and
tea is
India,
perfectly
as well as
shaded
the
though.
unique historical situations.
the cup of
set
tea looks
them
like-
up to
like
be the
from a
most
different
populated nations on
realm.
Earth.
I think maybe
I hope
you
you
got
enjoyed
it
the video.
from somewhere.
It's definitely I love how the Chinese character. One is just like Lao Tzu. Obviously, I just like saw that and was like, yeah, I'll base it off him, and put a panda in his pocket. Okay. Why did anyone want that? Almost has 1 million views. I apologize to all 1 million people.
the first kind of viral
That was the
video,
first viral
right?
video, yeah. Someone said stop shaming old Cogito. I will do whatever I want to old Cogito. Okay?
You brought him into
he
this
was
world
yeah.
and you will take him out of it.
He's so plump. Like, I thought the Cogitos now are still like these plump little characters, but before they were just like this mess. I can take these off. Ugh. I'm not sure if I should react to more videos. I'm not sure if it's entertaining or not. But
We're almost getting to 3 hours of live.
we're almost getting to 3 hours. Yeah, we can kind of wrap up shortly. Someone says the mug has whiskey instead of coffee. No, my mug would definitely have coffee other than whiskey. I know I'm Irish and I'm supposed to like whiskey, but I don't really like whiskey. Any kind of like the dark liquors, I'm not a big fan of. Other than rum, and even rum I prefer if it's white. You know, I prefer like the clearer ones. I don't know what it is. Whiskey for me just tastes like petrol. Unless it's Jameson. Jameson is nice. Someone is asking us why wasn't Africa comparatively more populous?
Make your screen bigger.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm really small. Okay. That's a great question. I really wish I could get the chat to appear on the screen so everyone could see it. But it just doesn't seem to want to work. I'm not sure why. It's just anti-work. Okay. Doesn't matter. But someone asked a really good question, which is why wasn't Africa comparatively more populous to India and China? And that's like a good question. Well, one problem with it is like Africa is like an entire continent with like several different like biospheres. But parts of it almost could have been as populated as India and China, especially West Africa. East Africa is Ethiopia. West Africa is Nigeria. Yeah. Nigeria, Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Ghana, where all those are, is like one of these huge farming regions that has a huge population throughout history and has all of these established civilizations. The problem and the reason why their population isn't like a billion like India and China is because, well, they got depopulated for a few centuries by slavery. Like when Europeans and a lot of I'm not sure if the Arabic world got their slaves from there. They got maybe from East Africa. I'm not sure. Either way, West Africa got hugely depopulated due to the slave trade. And the problem with like that kind of thing, when you take population away from a region, is you essentially cut it off. You cut off all future offspring from that population. If you take a family from Nigeria or the Congo and you move them to somewhere else to be slaves, not only have you stolen that current labor and put it somewhere else, you've taken those people and all of their future offspring away. And so like one family can make 1,000 people. And so for centuries, when you just keep taking all those people, you take all that labor and you take all the potential offspring and you move it somewhere else. And that's why like their population didn't reach like one of the reasons that their population didn't reach 1 billion people like India and China did, because slavery depopulated the region to a huge extent. Like it's massive. At one point, the king of the Congo writes this letter. I'm not sure when. I think it's like the 14th century, maybe. Don't quote me. Maybe the 16th. One of those even numbered centuries. He writes a letter to the king of Portugal, and he's like, "Here, chap, we're both Christians. What are you doing, coming here and stealing all my people for? Like, we're supposed to be brothers in God, and you're coming here and you're taking all of my citizens and you're moving them away somewhere else to do all of your work. I need them here to do my work. They're making you rich. They need to be here to make me rich." And I think that's just one super cool, because it's just one of those weird historical moments where like you don't really expect kings like from like really far away to write letters to other kings, especially being like, "Yo, bro, we're both Christians, you know? What's happening here? Why don't you go pillage some non-Christians?" Which I think is cool. Sad, but cool. I feel like a lot of Cogito videos can be described in sad, but cool. Someone says, "Do I like Star Trek?" I've never really watched much Star Trek. I like Star Trek. I like listening to people that like Star Trek talk about Star Trek and all of its cool philosophical concepts and lore, but I've never actually watched it. I like Stargate. Stargate is amazing. It's an amazing TV show. Everyone should watch Stargate. and yeah, I love it. I know it's like discount Star Trek, but something about Stargate gets me. Although I don't like how like Stargate is like super pro American military, which is weird because it's a Canadian TV show, and sometimes that can make some episodes feel really weird. But other than that, it's really fun. Let's see. Someone says Indian and Chinese societies value male children. Well, that's also like a generalization, and like saying one of the reasons for like valuing male children is not a good way to like multiply the population. There's actually probably a way to bring it down slightly, because men can't make babies by themselves. You need two people. Okay.
Somebody asked, what's your favorite documentary or TV show?
Ooh, favorite documentary is, there's this amazing one called 500 Nations. Oddly enough, with Kevin Costner as the person who narrates it. It's about all the civilizations in North America. Really cool. Explains it a lot. There's also this really old documentary series called Engineering an Empire, which is just like every episode is dedicated to like Roman aqueducts or Aztec aqueducts, mostly aqueducts. But it was also like, there was one episode. Was this Engineering an Empire or a different one of those things about Islamic? Like medieval Islamic torpedoes was the name of it. It was amazing because like during the golden age of Islam, some super smart guy invented a torpedo like 500 years before torpedoes were supposed to be a thing. Really smart, and the science behind it is cool. But just Google like Islamic golden age torpedo to see what comes up. But yeah, Engineering an Empire, really good. One of the things I wanted to do with this channel originally was kind of something like Engineering an Empire. I actually had like a whole blueprint, color palette and everything done. But this is like a year before, in the years before I made the channel, I was coming up with like concepts I wanted the channel to be. And kind of an engineering one was one. I don't know anything about engineering. I don't know why I thought I could do that. But I made a blueprint color palette and I was like, that's all I need to do. I can draw a blueprint. That's engineering. Engineering is when things are blue and white. That's all of it. Someone says, a suggestion, keep your videos small. 20 minutes feels like a task assigned. Yeah, I know. I also wish I could keep the videos small. But there's just so much to go over. There's so much context. I can't leave anything out anymore. When I'm making a video on the Tamils, or I'm making a video on Buddhism, I'm making a video on Islam, leaving things out becomes really difficult. You'd be surprised what I cut. I cut so much, but the videos end up long because I don't want to like oversimplify. From the Islam video, we cut like hundreds of years of stuff. We cut entire concepts. Yeah, keep making a video under 20 minutes is impossible now. I hope to keep them around 20 minutes because otherwise like my computer just goes on fire trying to animate them. But yeah, I'm not making them longer than 20 minutes just because I think it's a great time. Someone says, what about a video on the city of Rome? Yeah, I will make a video eventually. Like, I want to see how this Baghdad one goes. And if this Baghdad one goes well, I want to make ones on Rome, Tokyo, Jerusalem, Tenochtitlan, Cusco, Great Zimbabwe, Memphis. Oh, I want to make, not Memphis in Egypt, not Memphis in the US. Although that would be really fun. But yeah. And what is your academic background? I don't have any. I went to college for a few months and got bored. So I don't have any academic background. Okay. So I think we should wrap up. It's almost been like 3 hours and I'm kind of hungry.
Me too.
And if I get hungry, I'm not going to be able to talk about the Incas anymore. Because I'm just going to think about potatoes and... Oh god, yeah. Actually, I'm probably going to go eat some potatoes now. Oh no, we're going to make a ragu. I'm going to make some ragu. Vegetarian ragu. But it's still pretty good. Okay. Someone says there's much more to Rome than Romans and popes. Yeah, Rome is a very long city. Has like an insane history. And then for me, like people love Rome and ancient Rome. Rome is super interesting in like the medieval times. It gets so messy and gets like there's so much stuff going on. And it's just really interesting. Naples as well actually is like an interesting place to learn about in that time period. Italy in general. Italy's just mad. Italy has so much going on. There's Venice, there's Naples, Geneva is doing its own thing. Really cool. I would actually love to do a whole series on Italy. Like I actually want to do a whole series in India. I think like India, Greece, Italy, they all have, like China could do like a whole 6 episode series on like certain aspects. But we'll see how that goes. Oh my god, he's so majestic looking. Okay, someone said, what was the name of the book you mentioned earlier on Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, monotheism again? I actually don't remember the name, but it's on my tablet. I could go.
I can Google some stuff if you have any clue.
I don't have any clue. I can run and grab the tablet. It'll take me 2 seconds. Okay. The light, because I want to tell you the
I
name.
can run and grab it.
No.
Snorlax is the host.
I don't remember what the tablet is.
It's. Do you remember anything that I can Google about it? Okay, he found the tablet. He's going back.
I found the tablet. Okay, found the tablet. That's fine. Oh my god, it's a cute dog. Okay. Name of this book. What is the name of the book? The book is called Four Testaments. It is by a guy called Brian Arthur Brown. Brian Arthur Brown. Four Testaments. Now that I've just said it on stream, and I've like now you know like know the name of the book and everything, I am not 100% certain of the historicity and how correct this book is. I'm still halfway reading it, and I would like to like check his sources and everything before I'm like, oh, it's correct. But it is interesting, so give it a read if you want to. But keep in mind that like maybe it's not correct. Well, you should keep that in mind with everything though. Okay, I'm probably gonna wrap it up because I'm hungry and it's very warm in this room. Okay. So, Four Testaments. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to finish up. Thank you all for coming. It was a great time. Thank you for watching me make an espresso martini and going and getting excited about the Inca and all the other things we did on the stream. And I hope it was fun. I never know how it is, what it's like to actually watch these things and if they're interesting. So I hope you had a good time. Someone asked what I had for dinner. Dinner is ragu. Making some ragu. I actually don't know, like, it's like a tomatoey sauce with meat, but
it's vegetarian.
Yeah, it's meat sauce, but I'm a vegetarian, so it's like non-meat meat sauce. It's gonna be with lentils and mushrooms. It's gonna be a great time. Great time. But thank you for watching. A comment just said, "I love your teeth," and it was really. I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool." Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for getting us to 400,000 subscribers. The channel is like growing a lot. It's only thanks to you that we can grow so much. We're hiring people now, so we're going to make more videos, which is great because you all want more videos. Yeah, I don't know how to express how grateful I am in words because I don't have good lettered words in. But thank you, thank you so much for getting us here. I never expected to get more than like 1,000 subscribers. I actually remember like originally when I made the channel, I was like, oh my god, if I can get like 50,000 subscribers, that would be crazy. Hopefully in like 4 or 5 years I can get that big. And 4 or 5 years later, here we are with 400,000. So, finger guns. That is for me the best expression of gratitude a person can come up with is finger guns. So, zoop zoop. And thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next live stream.
Bye.
Bye.